Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the Perennial Grand Finals of 2024. It has been a lengthy journey to this point, but we have reached the top two teams who will be battling out for the title of Perennial Champion for this iteration. It is APAC Radiant, the number 1 seed. It is Together We Are Terrific, the number 6 seed. Two of the strongest teams, of course, all the way through this tournament. Together We Are Terrific, making a remarkable losers bracket run, I think 6 matches straight in losers. APAC Radiant looking untouchable throughout the winners bracket, including a 7-2 win in the winners final to reach this stage. I think we are in for an exciting night. These teams are both so capable of so much incredible Osu, and we are going to see a very, very challenging pool for them in this matchup. I'm this one guy. Joining me tonight for the Grand Finals is none other than Miles. Good evening, Miles, and welcome to the booth.
Good evening, Aaron. It feels like the first time I've ever gotten to commentate one of these Grand Finals in one of the massive tournaments of the game. It feels like almost a ceremony at this point. Perennial, Course Ace, OWC, just always some of the most content you can find in Grand Finals, the hardest map pools, the most talented teams, and I'm hoping for a spectacle just like you on this one. We've got the right map pool to do it on. Together We Are Terrific looked extremely powerful earlier today in their 7-2 routing of Bob that I don't think a lot of people expected. But I think they're going to be looking for some similar players to carry. They saw some very good scores from Rectigon, Taquito, and Window Life, and I think they're going to need to run that one back if they want to have any chance against this APAC Radiant squad.
Yeah, absolutely. The match costs tell really the story of that losers bracket final. Rectigon dropping the 1.78 with the flashlight formula, played 8 of 9 maps, top scored 4 of them. Window Life and Taquito in the 1.2 range, playing 6 and 7 maps respectively. And they absolutely will need something like that again. This is a very challenging matchup for Together We Are Terrific, especially when you look at that core roster of APAC Radiant. If you put together maps that they can play Enri, Worcester player, Tuna, and Hyok, that roster is really scary. So it's going to need to be Together We Are Terrific at their absolute best. And we're speedrunning the beginning of this match. We are already getting in through our first ban phase just like that. APAC Radiant choosing to ban out the DT3, which Together We Are Terrific won earlier today. Together We Are Terrific, for their part, going to be banning the Hidden 2 because, unsurprisingly, you don't want to leave that type of kind of awkward aim low AR hidden map up for a team such as APAC Radiant.
Yep, and subsequently, they are going to pick the next most gimmicky map in the pool in the Nomad 6 first. But we kind of see these optics, funnily enough, when we see NA teams facing up against Asian teams in tournaments. It's oftentimes you see the Asian teams opting into the gimmick, and then the NA teams opting into the speed. We already see those optics in this matchup already through the ban phase. AR4, by the way.
Yeah, this was always going to be an interesting one with the bans working the way they do in this tournament, where you get 1 ban and then 4 total picks and then the second ban phase. It does leave a little more of an opportunity for a team that's really good at one skill set to immediately pick into that. So we are going to get the opportunity to see this super low AR. Almost you could call it a bit of a memorization map. A lot of perfect stacks and overlaps. So APAC Radiant, very expected, I think, to opt into this. They have quite a few of these picks that are really just, forum, go do your thing. And this is absolutely going to be one of them. Together We Are Terrific. Actually, I believe banned this. Yeah, they banned this out earlier, so we do not know what to expect out of them on this pick, but we expect good things from APAC Radiant.
I just realized that forum name change to they picked the T2. That's a funny name change. Yeah, you said Together We Are Terrific banned this earlier. They didn't get to show off some of their reading players on this. We see one Tabby in the top right, a reading specialist who I think has his maps in the pool, and this could be one of them, but they're going to have their work cut out for them against this APAC Radiant squad. We have Caleb, One Tabby, Rectigon, and Bashi Man for the side of Together We Are Terrific against Enri, Forum, and Hyok, and awaiting a 4th. Probably going to be Flying Tuna, I think, right?
I would expect, yeah. Like I said, I think you're just going to see a lot of picks where it's Enri, Hyok, Tuna, and Forum. And this is one of the few skill sets that you're going to be, as APAC Radiant, that you're going to be forcing Together We Are Terrific onto kind of a suboptimal roster. Caleb, One Tabby, and Bashi played 2 maps each earlier in their first match, and it was the Free Mod 2 and the Hidden 2, it was Free Mod 2 and the Hidden 2 for each of those, so they are only in for the reading stuff, it would appear. And so that forces Together We Are Terrific away from Taquito, it forces them away from Window Life, it forces them away from Freddie Benson, these kind of skill cap mechanics players. And I think if you're APAC Radiant, that's really good for you.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about before the match, any APAC Radiant map that has Enri, Flying Tuna, Forum, and Hyuk is probably going to be their most powerful roster. So you're forcing your opponent on their theoretical weakest roster, and you're forcing yourself on your best roster. So overall, a very effective pick on paper. But, you know, we've seen miracles from some of these Together We Are Terrific players. Bashi Man hitting what I've seen described as a buzzer beater in the last OWC on the gimmicky pick up against Forum. So let's see if he can pull out those heroics again. But first pick for APAC Radiant, Nomad 6.
And this is one of a long string of lengthy maps in this pool. Looking down the length column, there are 6 maps between Nomad 5 and Free Mod 1 that are 4 minutes or longer. So you're going to get much longer picks than you are often used to in several of these slots. And so you're going to draw in that combo and that consistency and that kind of aspect of staying mentally locked into these maps in a way that you don't always. So we'll see how the players deal with that, in addition to the nerves of being here in a grand final. And you do already see Tuna struggling a lot at the start, as is Enri. And it is Forum and Hyuk holding the FCs for APAC Radiant. Well, Together We Are Terrific has a 4-way still alive, but it is very early days still, and they do find their first break on One Tabby, traded out with Tuna and Hyuk.
Yeah, surprising early lead for Together We Are Terrific here. We expect APAC Radiant to be really good at this pick, but still holding on to that 3-way. Tuna really struggling to get a foothold on this one. He is misreading, oh my goodness. But Bashi Man gonna trade out that miss. So Caleb and Rectigon holding on to the FCs. Those are the 2 players I'd expect the least to be holding on so far for the side of Together We Are Terrific. Both players who can read, but not necessarily specialists, and gotta be a specialist to play this map well.
Yeah, this is how it goes in grand finals, right? You are down to the specialists on gimmick skill sets a vast majority of the time, and there does go Caleb. The accuracy was dropping precipitously, so it was kind of to be expected that the combo would go eventually. It is still Rectigon holding on a remarkable ACK FC, top ACK in the lobby, and Forum, unsurprisingly, the FC still alive for APAC Radiant. You do see Hyuk and Enri building back up. You see the same out of One Tabby and Bashi, though, so this is going to stay in favor of Together We Are Terrific, not quite halfway in yet. And there goes Enri with a little slider break. He's going to give a little more breathing room Together We Are Terrific, though he was the lowest combo on that side.
Man, Rectigon on the AR4 coming out already with a massive performance. 98.5%, holding on to the FC halfway through. This is what Together We Are Terrific needs if they want to take breakpoints in this match, and right now they are slating themselves to do so. However, APAC Radiant still not out of this one. 238k lead at the half, but still with FCs on Forum and some decent combo on Hyuk and Flying Tuna to back it up. So it's all going to come down to the second half here.
And, you know, there was something I was thinking about as Enri falls once again. There goes Tuna in this, right as it starts to kind of start up again. I was thinking about whether or not there was anything where Forum could really, like, 1v9 on this pool. And considering how good Together We Are Terrific is at so many skill sets, my answer kind of trended toward no. And you're seeing a bit why. Together We Are Terrific is just getting the most out of players you wouldn't necessarily expect to be great at this skill set. Like, they're locked in here in the first 2/3 of this map, and they may be able to continue that onward. It's a top row triple miss. Enri, Tuna, and One Tabby all breaking. There goes Rectigon. That's the FC gone. And with several 100,000 points still left in the map, there is still a third to go. Now the Forum 1v9 does become a possibility, as Hyuk is building up a big combo as well to support him, even with Enri and Tuna continuing to fall.
Yeah, but this is Nomad, Aaron. 280k. It's going down decently fast, but on Nomad, that lead goes back really slowly. There's a quarter of the map to go, but still the combo to fight it off on Bashi Man and Caleb, especially as Tuna and Enri continue to drop. It's a combo lead for APAC Radiant, but I think as long as Bashi and Caleb can hold, they're going to be able to stave off this comeback for APAC Radiant on their first pick here. But there goes Caleb, So it's only Bashiman now against the dual combos from Hyak and Forum. But I just still don't think there's enough time.
Hyak and Forum were the duo, it felt like, or, you know, two of Hyak, Forum, and Tuna, I suppose, in that first match in the winners final. They put in so much work, and they were able to make so many points happen just with two of those three players pulling off big scores. And they're looking to maybe do it again here. It's coming down, like you said. I just don't know if it's fast enough. It's at 120k, 110k, and we're going to get to the ending, and together we're terrific. Bashiman pulling this big combo into the ending is going to do enough to maintain the lead. That was dropping down, but not by enough. And thanks to just the combined team effort on Together We Are Terrific, they managed to combat the FC from Forum and the near 700k from Hyak. And there you go, right? It's the full team effort. They have their worst score as 408k. Meanwhile, APAC Radiant, 166k on Henry, and not too much above that from Flying Tuna. You really can't afford that, even with an FC from Forum.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the definition of a team gap right there. Forum and Hyak put in the work on that one, getting the two top scores in the lobby, but Henry and Flying Tuna not finding their foothold, and Together We Are Terrific, together are terrific on that pick. Two 400Ks being the bottom scores, and Rectigon and Bashi putting in that work on the top end to get that early breakpoint on the board for the Americans. And now you have to assume on their end, they're probably going to pick speed, because it's another thing we mentioned before the match is that APAC Radiant, lots of their players going to be playing in the morning right now. And in the morning, it is a little known secret that if you're an NA team going into an Asian team at this time slot, picking speed early on into the match is a good thing because they're still going to be waking up. They're still going to be warming up. But your hands are already all nice and warm from the gaming beforehand.
Yeah, and we've seen this type of matchup before. I mean, it's the OWC Grand Finals for the last couple of years with United States against South Korea having to come from loser's bracket, having to play that late Saturday night bracket reset match. And the pick strategy is definitely informed a bit by the time of day that the teams are playing at. And it is going to be an early speed pick here for Together We Are Terrific. It's going to be the Nomad 5. So we are going to early pick speed as you anticipated so astutely. It is Megalomania, 270 BPM for 4.5 minutes. This is just a brutal map. And if you are not completely ready to go on the day, you're going to struggle with it. Together We Are Terrific put up a solid performance on this earlier. It was a 1.9 million led by an 808k 3-miss 3300 combo from Rectigon. That really put the nail in the coffin of Bob. And we'll see if they can do that again in the second match they're going to play it today.
God, I have such a dumb smile on my face seeing Megalomania in a Grand Finals map pool. This map is such a classic. 270 BPM, 8.6 stars. This is like one of the classic shred maps of the day. Like one of those old God mode maps you would see like Rafis and Cookiezi playing back in like 2017 or something. So gonna be a fun one here. Speed roster for Together We Are Terrific. Gonna be really strong, I think. Rectigon and Window Life, you see the two headliners. Likely to be joined by Freddie Benson and probably Taquito for that fourth spot.
Yeah, that was their roster on this earlier. Taquito had the second best score at just shy of 400k despite a B rank. He was definitely combo gaming that match. He was in for a bunch of the speed stuff, and he just combo gamed it out. He put up a 2100 combo on this 91 accuracy. So we'll see if he can run that one back. Freddie Benson and Window Life, definitely some improving both can do. Freddie Benson only had one miss. Max combo was only 1100 though. Window Life dropped it to 321k. So definitely room for improvement on those scores. APAC Radiant though, man, I'm a little surprised not to see Kamenchik in for this one. Henry, Secret Box, Restia, and Hyak going to be the roster. I feel like Kamenchik generally would give them a better chance at winning this type of pick. No, I don't know if this BPM is maybe a little higher than he's normally comfortable with, but given the scores he's capable of in solo, I don't think that's the case.
I'm really not sure. I think the big question mark for me on this one is Hyak, because Hyak has just been one of the MVPs for APAC Radiant. I'm personally not too sure of what his BPM cap is, but if he can stream this, then no problem with him being in the lobby. But as you mentioned earlier, a player like Freddie Benson, this is his type of map when he used to play tournaments. Like back before he went on this tournament arc this year, I think his most notable performance in tournaments ever was in test tournament back in like 2018. He got the best score, like 2.2k combo on Riven's Yomiuri as the grand finals tiebreaker, just completely solo carrying that one, and he is all good on these long stream maps.
We're already seeing some difficulties here for APAC Radiant. This is 4.5 minutes long, 35 or 100 or so max combo, and they are down quite a bit early on. It is a break from 3 members of Together We're Terrific so far, but they have the much superior recovery combo. That being said, double FC on, or no, sole FC on Hyok, near FC on Henry, broken the first little bit of combo, and Rectagon back on his game on this pick. Let's see what he can do his second chance at it. Freddie Benson with a solid recovery combo, though. You have Hyok and Henry holding superior combo. They're only down 20k or so. This is definitely going to stay close for the time being. There was Freddie in Window Life. Hyok, though, falls as well as Restia. And now you've got a 2v2 there with the small combo of Taquito and Secret Box with Rectagon breaking. Now it's Henry's turn to take over.
Henry, man, that top tourney player, probably one of the top prospects in this matchup. We're going to see how he goes with this FC now at the 3rd way mark on this map, still holding on to that lone FC, but still a 26k lead for Together We Are Terrific, and it's not really budging either. The accuracy advantage is just so strong on their side. You see Restia struggling down at 89%, Hyok at 93, starting to lose out on that stamina, and you look out on the accuracies on the side of Together We Are Terrific. 94 is the lowest on Taquito, and it's going to be 2 97s and a 96 to join them. So even though Henry is holding on to the FCs, it's actually going further in the direction of Together We Are Terrific.
Yeah, this is really a bizarre one, and it's going to be interesting if APAC Radiant can pull off the combo game here with Henry on the 1700 combo. There goes Hyok. There isn't a combo to match Henry, but look at what is happening to Secret Box, Restia, and Hyok. We've got 86 AC on Restia continuously breaking, Hyok at 90 AC. Meanwhile, as you said, Together We're Terrific, this American team, having a lot better time, but they're all breaking. There goes Window Life, Freddie Benson, Taquito. Henry, fortunately, Together We Are Terrific, is going to break. There is that gigantic near FC combo gone, and now it is back on Rectagon's shoulders. He was the carry performance on this earlier, and looking to do it again through these somewhat difficult Amy flow patterns in the middle third, and that lead out to over 100k now that they have the combo lead on their side.
Yeah, and I mean, Rectagon, that one miss, do not be phased. He brought it right back. 1200 combo now, taking over the lobby on this one, and it's gonna start to slowly become more definitive of a win for Together We Are Terrific as that combo grows, because they just have an advantage on almost every aspect. Combo, accuracy, and that score lead, now 200k.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Together We Are Terrific, and this is going to kind of inform things going forward, I think, as well, even as the clock reaches the 1 a.m. hour in the Eastern time zone of the United States. Like, you're still going to be willing, I think, to pick into these speed maps if they're this favored your way. There are recovery combos finally coming into the last quarter for APAC Radiant, but there they all go. It's just Henry. Meanwhile, Rectagon still shredding, Window Life still shredding, and Freddie and Taquito, despite the lower score, lower combo, holding on to solid accuracy, which is doing enough. So Together We're Terrific has got some picks they're going to be able to think about, considering how this one is going. Despite the earlier struggles in the map, they took it over, and they're going to end up winning this by a comfortable margin, 400k or so.
And you know, I just referenced a performance from Freddie Benson on Yomiuri without realizing that the actual Yomiuri is in this map pool, so that's probably something Together We Are Terrific gonna consider. Another very long, mostly stream-oriented map, but a lot lower on the stamina, a lot lower on the speed, something that every player in the lobby will be able to stream, and we're probably not going to see the type of team gap that we're seeing on this type of thing from Together We Are Terrific. By the way, Rectagon, is that like a 1 miss, 2 miss? Did he miss in the beginning?
I think that's like a 1 or 2 miss, a 1000 combo in, and then he FC'd the rest of the map. Oh, it's an S rank. Okay, it's a slider break is what it is, 1000 combo in.
Okay.
That's fair. That's reasonable. And again, just looking at the team gap, the scores weren't amazing after Rectagon, but 390k, 237k, 297k. Meanwhile, those backing scores for APAC Radiant, 212, 209, and 118k. That's looking ugly for those supporting scores for APAC Radiant, 2 maps in a row to start this match off. Not what you want to see on that side.
And I think the tapping is a little more plentiful in this pool than the gimmick, but one question I think for APAC Radiant is when they're going to start to pick the tech maps, because that's the other place where I think on paper they have a pretty decent advantage over Together We Are Terrific, looking at maps like the Nomad 3, even the Nomad 4, the Hidden 3, all things that APAC Radiant could pick into in this match, as well as the Hard Rock 2. Man, Shah Hard Rock, another map that kind of strikes out to me in this map pool.
There are so many just sick maps in this pool, dude. Like, the hype just does not quit at any point. Thinking about tech, I do think that for APAC Radiant, you know, your Nomad 3, Nomad 4, Hidden 3, Hard Rock 2, maybe even Fremod 3 are just all picks where you can, if you have Tuna, Hyok, and Forum on good days, that they can just run a train on those maps. The question is, how well will they be playing, and how well will Together We Are Terrific be playing on those? Because they do have some good tech players on that side as well. They've got Taquito, they've got Rectagon, got guys like Decaton. So we're going to see early, though. It's going to be the Nomad 3 pick coming in here from APAC Radiant second.
Yep, the tech. We've got Metal Globe map by Nuge. I believe this is a custom map for the Perennial.
Custom map, and I believe an original song as well. For this tournament, unless I am going absolutely crazy. I believe this is an original track, so very cool to see.
Yep, we've got the Magnemite background, very classy on this one. APAC Radiant gonna go into the tech. I think this is a really good pick for them. Enri, Hyok, Forum, Tuna should be the roster for this one from them. Together We Are Terrific. We're gonna see how their tech players do. Rectagon has been playing absolutely lights out for the first two maps of this match. And he's a player who's probably going to be in for everything. And if he's playing like he has on the last two maps, on other maps going forward, he's going to be a threat on every single map in this map pool. But for Together We Are Terrific, I think roster depth a little bit lower on this one. You have Taquito, the tech specialist, on their side as well. But after that, I'm not really too sure exactly who they put in.
So I'll tell you, they did play this earlier in their first match. They did win it. They put up only a 1.27 million score, so not an amazing score. It was Taquito top scoring with a crazy combo. He hit the hard part of the map into the ending, which is just like the most brutal like aim control and bursts and slider aim. They had Window Life, Decaton, and Rectagon as the others, basically all around the 300k mark. So they have a roster that is capable of performing well on this. I think Rectagon can definitely improve his score from earlier by a bit. Window Life and Decaton, I think that's about where you'd expect in 300 to 320k range. The question is, you know, is that going to be enough against a team that has Forum, who's presumably going to put up a really good score on this, as well as Hyok, who's been really good on tech, Tuna, who's one of the best tech players in tournament play history, and Enri, who is also capable of solid things on these tech maps. That's that core roster, and that's a map that I think they will have better supporting scores on than some of the others, where it was just like Forum and then the rest.
I foresee some improvement from Decaton as well on this. I feel like Decaton has been underperforming some of his tournaments as of late, but if he really shows up to play, he's also that type of slider tech player who can really have a massive impact on the outcome of this map. But here we go. About to go into it. MP start 5 out. We've got Enri, Hyok, Forum, Tuna, Decaton, Window Life, Rectagon, Taquito on the original track for the Perennial, Metal Globe by Citrus, map by Nuge. Let's see how this one goes.
You always got to expect some pretty crazy things out of a Nuge tech map. Just make some really good, really difficult late stage tech picks, and this is absolutely no exception. The slider burst can get you, the slider aim can get you, the aim control can get you, the 1/6 burst can catch you out. I mean, this has everything you would anticipate of a late stage tech pick, and it will catch out early on Window Life as well as Forum to drop in the first little bit of combo. There goes Decaton as well.
Yeah, another drop from Decaton, but this map takes a little bit of time to, I think, adjust into. Like, this map is really awkward. Some of these bursts into the slider jumps, into these little alternating patterns, really easy to get caught out on. As we get through some of those quads, going to be a 50k lead for APAC Radiant through those. Flying Tuna, Hyok, and Enri all holding on to FCs, with Forum bringing it back as well with the reestablished combo. As we see more breaks come out from Together We Are Terrific, Taquito and Rectagon going down. They only have some reestablished combos on Decaton and Window Life to speak of. Meanwhile, going to be a couple of 400 combos on the side of APAC Radiant.
We just talk about the fact that Hyok, Tuna, and Forum all hit that full screen slider section. Like, that was actually nuts. Both Rectagon and Taquito broke there. And the three biggest combos, Tuna broke a little right after, but the three biggest combos of APAC Radiant all hit it. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty impressive. This map is no joke whatsoever as we see more and more breaks come out during that little transition. Only Decaying on any sort of combo for Together We Are Terrific, and the combos are going down for APAC Radiant. Hyuk finally drops that major combo, but Enri and Tuna there are to pick up the pieces, and it's looking like we're finally going to get to see one of the APAC Radiant team gaps.
Yeah, this is looking like a very strong team score for APAC Radiant overall. You just don't anticipate any high scores on this map, but 1.2 growing, it'll probably be 1.3, 1.35 million. I mean, this is like honestly a good team score on this. This map is so difficult to put up any real combo on. 1.5 million doable maybe in this ending. See what Forum can hold in his combo. He's got about 500 coming in the end. Hits the little wiggles, hits the sliders. And that's going to be 1.6 million when all is said and done. 300k win for APAC Radiant to get on the board after dropping the first 2 picks. Going to feel pretty good. And as you said, that is... Oh, it's an S rank from Forum. Okay, of course it is. That's fine.
S rank on that is so unbelievable. Also want to shout out to Kaiten, who quickly left the lobby, getting the second top score in the lobby at around 410k, but the backing players on APAC Radiant just stronger on that one. Enri, Hyuk, and Flying Tuna all doing extremely well. 400k on Tuna with the 93%. That is some devious combo work from the lad.
And teams, I think, learning from their early picks here, right? APAC Radiant doing really well in this tech map. Got a few other options in the pool they can go into based on that. Like I said, the Nomad 4, maybe Hard Rock 2, maybe Freemod 3, which isn't tech, or Freemod 1, actually, which is tech. Together We Are Terrific, probably going to look into speed stuff after the way the Nomad 5 went. So we're learning. We're learning here as we go to start things off with these early picks.
Definitely learning, and I think there's an equal amount of tapping focus picks in the pool as some tech focus maps, so I think we're pretty set in stone for the next about 6 picks. I think it'll go in some order of DT1, DT2, Nomad 2, and then for APAC Radiant, probably looking at something like Nomad 4, Hidden 3, Freemod 1, not in any particular order. And here comes the DT2 for Together We Are Terrific.
Yep, I think that was a fairly expected one. You called it, and you were absolutely correct. The DT2 is just 235 BPM death streams. This was in... What was this in recently? This has been in a couple tournaments, but... Did you put this in closed, or was this in Hippo Cup? It's all blurring together.
I definitely didn't put this in closed. I don't recognize this.
I think it might have been in Hippo Cup then. Either way, it's a just stamina, slightly small circles as well. CS 5.4, but just raw stamina death stream map. This is gonna just you just tap and then you cap and then you tap and then you keep tapping and then you tap some more.
It's ESA. It's ESA. That makes sense. Yeah, this is an ESA map.
I don't actually... Is ESA what I was actually thinking of for this though? I'm not even sure. Well, either way.
It is a map where you tap a lot and you shred. And we see the shredders already in the lobby. Enri, Rectigon, Window Life. Probably the highest potential of shred in the lobby on those 3 players.
Now I'm just like looking through tournaments to find it in something other than ESA, because I swear that's not what I'm thinking of, but I guess it absolutely just must be.
Oh, I just realized Forum's name. They picked DT2, and indeed they did.
And indeed they did, yeah. They picked DT2, man. Oh,
What
this
can
is
a
going to
guy
be... Yeah, I mean, you get Forum out of the lobby. If you're Together We Are Terrific, you're going to be pretty pleased about that. And you get in your solid core roster, Rectigan, Taquito, Window Life, Freddie Benson. Like, you're just happy. You are steam happy if you are Together We Are Terrific on this type of situation. Enri, Secret Box, Rusty, and Tuna. Based on how Nomad 5 went, I don't have the highest of hopes for them, sadly. They really could use Kamenshik, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kamenshik, he's one of the top ranked players in the game off of maps similar to this one. He is one of those speed farmers, hardcore, that you really would expect to put up an insane score on this one. And apparently this was in YSC 2021. That's insane. 2021 map being used in Grands of 2024. That's something you don't see every day.
Well, in we're going to go. We'll see how everybody fares. Early break Flying Tuna. Nothing's going to matter that early. Early break Henry. Nothing's going to matter that early. This is 3.5 minutes long after DT is applied. And here we go. Just enjoy this for a while.
Just some good old classic shred. You can see instantly who is comfortable on this and who isn't, as we see lots of breaks, lots of act drops coming out as well. Restia down at 77 out of that first stream. Tuna at 87, Secret Box at 83, and the accuracies on Together We Are Terrific trending more upward. Rectigon 97, Window Life 93 with Freddy, and Keto not having the best time after that stream either, down at 82.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of pick this if you just have, like, a player who is going to be comfortable with it. You don't even need a full roster. Just give it to Rectigon and say, hey, man, go do your thing. Because he's at 97 AC and nobody on the side of APAC Radiant is above 90, which tells you a lot.
Yeah, that's the type of performance where we're going to be in 1v4 territory very, very soon for Rectigon. Like, 260k team score going up for APAC Radiant, and Rectigon himself is already at 240k. And he's still going.
Yeah, this this Rectigon score is getting really good really fast. Also, shoutouts Freddie Benson and Window Life, who are getting much better. And Rectigon breaks right at the break. It's a slider break. That is really sad, bro. Oh my god, that is so sad.
He's 1v4ing at the break.
He's actually 1v4ing at the break.
Yeah, this is...
APAC Radiant needs Kamenchik, and they need Kamenchik badly. So I don't know what he's up to, if he's like asleep or something. Wait, Kamenchik is... What is he? I always get the country wrong. He's Eastern Europe. So I don't know if he's gonna be around for this match.
Dio put it in chat. Kamenchik is Kazakhstan, and I think his start time is 9:30 a.m. So definitely a time you can be awake, but generally pretty early for an Osu tournament, especially at this difficulty caliber. So it's gonna be a coast to a pretty good victory for Together We Are Terrific. Rectigon still 1v4ing, and it's just, you said it earlier best. This is a map where you just need one player who can really play it, and Window Life is also very quickly approaching that 1v4 territory, by the way.
Yeah, sadly, he did find the break right there. The flow aim in this stays pretty difficult even into the later stages, so it doesn't look like the 1v4 will necessarily be happening. But, man, this gets scary, dude. This speed skill set for APAC Radiant, like, they're going to breathe a big sigh of relief when Together We Are Terrific runs out of speed maps. I think they just banned DT1 going into in the second ban phase. And then they say, hey guys, you can pick Nomad 2 if you want, but after that, there is nothing left in the skill set, and we are thankful for that, because this was a just brutal beatdown. It is a 1v4 for two different members of Together We Are Terrific, Rectigon and eventually Window Life, closing out the 1v4.
It's not often that you see a single 1v4 in an open rank grand finals, but I think this might be the first time I've ever seen a double 1v4 in the grand final. That is just such a polarizing win for Together We Are Terrific, and APAC Radiant, no matter what their scores on any of the other speed maps might be, you might consider banning this one out if it goes to bracket reset.
Problem is, for APAC, well, yeah, actually, I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, why did they ban DT3? Like, I feel like DT2 or Nomad 5, and then you ban either, you know, DT1 or whichever of the first two you don't ban. Like, I feel like I'd rather take my chances with DT3 than see what just happened, because there are 3 maps that Together We Are Terrific can do what just happened on, and you have the chance to, I don't know, I don't really follow the necessarily the logic. I guess they're gonna pick, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if not for any reason, like, just leave up the DT3 because it's only 1 minute long. That's one thing in my mind, because if it's a 1 minute DT pick, It's another one of those situations where you can just have one player carry and it almost feels like RNG. If you, like, I would much rather chance myself on a 3-minute more awkward evil Elvis map like the DT3 than something that is very long and consistent and straining like the DT2. But second ban phase is here. They're going to be knocking out that DT1, so tapping in the pool has been reduced down to pretty much just Yomiuri, I would say. And I guess the DT4, Kimi no Kyoku, gonna be a little bit of tapping in that one.
Yeah, that's more or less an alt pick, though. So, yeah, DT1 was, I think, the pretty obvious ban here. You'd rather take your chances with Nomad 2 because I think you have a couple of good players for that on APAC Radiant. Together we have terrific ban here is presumably either Nomad 4 or Hidden 3, whichever of those they are less comfortable with. I suppose there's a world where it's Hard Rock 2, but I really think, especially because they banned Hidden 3 earlier, it's just going to be that again, and indeed. So the control aim tech will be removed. Next pick goes to APAC Radiant. I think they do go with the Nomad 4 here after what happened on the Nomad 3. I think this is probably going to feel like the best pick.
I would say Fremod 1, actually, because Honks is like, if we're comparing like levels of slider vomit, Honks is the only thing that I think comes close to Metal Globe. So might want to go with that next if you want to just continue picking what worked last time, but both I think are going to be good picks for APAC Radiant. And also, I apologize, DT4 is not tapping. Apparently it's 168 BPM after DT, and I just confused it with the other Kimi no Kyoku. So.
Yeah, this is not like the OG speed, it's quote-unquote speed Kimi no Kyoku. This is just an alt map. Yeah, Fremod 1, I can get behind as well. The mod is always the concern on that because like somebody's got to run Hard Rock on that, and that's just not going to be fun. Which may be why you would stray away from that particular pick a little bit, because I think you're best off on Nomad or Hidden for APAC Radiant on the tech maps.
And here's the Nomad 4. Oh my god, I just realized what map this is, Dio.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you will probably recognize this one.
Okay, so there's a little lore to this. Me and Dio were looking at this map for SSOT Grand Finals a few months ago. And I was just like, dude, this is way too stupid. You can't put this in a map pool. And now here it is. This map has like some of the most brutal one-shot patterns I think you've ever seen. Like, this is a clip farm map, is what it is.
Yeah, this was one map where I looked at this pool and I was, just kind of counting up the maps that you give Forum and just say, do your thing. And like, this is absolutely one of them because his ability to hit clip farm stuff in tournament play is, I would say, like, up there with the greats of all time. There are so few players who can do the stuff that he does on maps like this with just the crazy slider bursts and those like wacky slider jump patterns, so.
Yeah, this map is like, it's a 1 minute 55 second map that is full of one-shot patterns that are perfectly dispersed, so technically speaking, none of them are one-shot patterns. But it is just the type of thing where, when it comes to the aim control, like, this is an all-eyes-on Forum map, because I don't know if anyone else in the game really has the aim control to hit any of these patterns consistently. Maybe Hyuk as well, entering the lobby, gonna look really good on this. But, like, together we are terrific. I don't know who's going to play this map well at all. I mean, I guess look at Rectigon because he's been playing every map well so far, but really, this map is brutal. Oh yeah, apparently Flying Tuna has an FC on this, by the way, so also look at him.
Yeah, Tuna is very, very good at technological mapping. It's just this core roster of APAC Radiant on these types of maps. Like, it's scary. That being said, you got Taquito, you got Rectigon, Window Life, and Decaton. So not a bad roster by any means, but the expectation's pretty high here for APAC Radiant to put another point up on their own third pick, avoid dropping another breakpoint with something that I think is quite favored to their style of play.
This is something that completely fits the speed of APAC Radiant. It's the type of map where I think they can once again perhaps get a full team gap on this one. But we've got a pretty strong roster in for Together We Are Terrific. Taquito, Rectigon, Window Life, and Decaton to try their hand against Enri, Forum, Hyok, and Tuna on that power roster again as we instantly get into some of the difficult patterns. These cut slider bursts, so difficult, catching out Window Life a couple of times, but still a 4-way FC for the side of APAC Radiant. Still a 3-way for Together We Are Terrific as well. It's just Window Life really struggling on these slider bursts after we finally see a break from Enri as well as Flying Tuna. But it is full mayhem, and the entire lobby has now broken.
That was actually 7 misses, all on the same pattern, by the way. And then Tuna broke right after. Yeah, when we tell you that this map is challenging, that's what we mean. Those one-shot patterns, as Miles discussed, they will cause the entire lobby to miss. It's just what happens on this map. You are not going to have a good time. The vast majority of the patterns in this map are going to challenge you. And you and everyone else on your team, unfortunately. But it was APAC Radiant out to the lead before the full lobby wipe. And so we basically just restarted into the back third of the map. And there's not a whole lot Together We Are Terrific can hope to do. Enri and... Wait a minute, now there is. Hang on a second. If Rectigon and Window Life hold into this ending, wait just a darn moment, this could get interesting.
Wait, okay. Window Life did break. Rectigon holds, but I think there's nothing left in the map.
Hey, yeah, there's no combo left at the end, is there?
No, it's unfortunate for them. Rectigon, with 10 more seconds of real map, that does go back Together We Are Terrific, but just overall holding better at the start for APAC Radiant. Window Life finding a lot of struggles, and, you know, 60k, a really tiny difference. Those struggles at the start just might have costed them this pick.
Yeah, that... Oof.
Wait, one miss Rectigon?
I mean, that's a slider break map, no?
It's an everything miss map, if I'm being completely honest with you. I feel like once you strain the aim control enough, you start seeing more just regular misses over slider breaks, but a 1 miss on this is just unbelievable. And yeah, that map is why I said to Dio in SSOT that this map is unbalanced for tournament, but here it is.
This is the sort of thing you would expect to see in, like, Hippo Cup or something. But here we are anyway. I think, unfortunately for people who don't want to be watching the same map for 8 minutes long, I think this is a Yomiuri angle. I kind of just think this is a Yomiuri angle.
It absolutely is, and I think Together We Are Terrific right now in their team chat should be talking about what they pick when they run out of the tapping, because technically they're all out of that just like full-on speed abuse in the map pool. Because Yomiuri, it is 220 BPM, I believe. It's something that APAC Radiant, no matter what, they're going to be able to field a team of 4 for that one. That should be able to match the average score on Together We Are Terrific. But that is just a skill set they have generally looked untouchable on. The flow aim, the streams, the high BPM, not going to be added to this one, but the rest of the skill sets should fall their way. But it's going to be the DT4. Hold on a minute.
I don't actually love this pick. It feels like they're picking this because it has DT in front of it, more so than anything else. This is like 168 BPM alt. This is not anything like the other DTs where you have a couple of, you know, speedy DTs and then that awkward old style DT. This is an alt map, and it's a long one at that. This is 4 minutes of alt. I don't really see this as being advantage to them in the way that their other picks so far have been. So their reasoning behind picking into this has to be kind of different.
You know, there's some strategy to leaving a more definitive pick like Yomiuri on the board for later. Like, they're going to have to find other picks at some point. I'm just not too sure about how the optics of this map go, because this is something that APAC Radiant are going to have a really good roster on, but Together We Are Terrific. I mean, their picks so far have looked completely rock solid, and as always, they know their own scores and we don't, so not going to question this right now, but still, I think they are probably, after they pick this in Yomiuri, I think they kind of want to go into the hard rock, I would think.
I'm curious what kind of score Bashiman gets on Shaw Hard Rock, because precision is sort of his thing. Obviously, Rectigon also really good at Hard Rock tech. and precision stuff. So that might be an angle. There's a world where like Hard Rocks 2 and Hard Rocks 3 could be Together We Are Terrific picks, but we are gonna have to see them switch it up here eventually. They've still got to win 4 more maps just to get through this first set, so gotta have some good options in the back of their mind as the match goes onward. But it looks like our lobby may well be set here. We see Tuna, Forum, Hyok, Enri, that 4-man core, Rectagon, and Window Life and Taquito. Gonna be joined by Decaton for this one. So most of the kind of expected core for Together We Are Terrific as well.
Just raw firepower coming on both rosters here, as you'd expect in an open rank grand finals. This is going to be a good one, but very long one. 4 minutes of ult. AR 10.3. Lots of awkward aim, I would assume, because it's an Iljaz map. So let's see who gets caught out. Yeah, seeing this map, but not being on the OG remix, the Akali map, it just feels a little bit jarring not having that version of the song in a tournament.
Yeah, this is, when you see Kimi no Kyoku, this is not what you expect for sure. We do get the early break from Taquito. It is matched by Enri. So no harm done. No harm, no foul. Team's matching all of the combo accuracy, staying pretty high across the board. How much of an impact do you think the length of this pick has, as we see Tuna and Hyok as well as Window Life and Taquito breaking? This is 4 minutes long in the DT pool. Like, that's not something you see every day.
Yeah, I don't know how much of an impact that's going to make, but that break from Rectagon is going to be very massive. Now it's just Decaton and Forum matching each other, and some supporting combos matching each other. Window Life matches one of Flying Tuna or Hyok, but it's an extra combo on that end. So that lead should very quickly go over to the side of APAC Radiant, but it's DT and it's only a 20k lead, so it's going to be really close until one of these FCs goes down. Window Life finding some struggles on this bridge section, gonna start to throw it even quicker in favor of APAC Radiant, but it's gonna be quickly traded by Enri, but there goes Taquito as well. Oh, but there goes Forum, finally, right at the halfway point of the map, gonna be dropping that full combo, and now Decaton all alone on the FC, gonna start to take this one away. But the other combos are there to support APAC Radiant despite the Forum drop. Flying Tuna and Hyok, both that 650 plus combo. They're gonna start to be able to make inroads at this lead if any break comes out from Rectagon or Decaton, but they are holding strong, and Hyok finds the break, so it's going to be Together We Are Terrific running out their lead here. Breaks on Window Life and Taquito, but as long as Rectagon and Decaton hold, they're going to be able to go further, but that break from Decaton is going to start to throw it back now, as it's once again, though, 2 combos matching each other. It's Rectagon and Tuna.
And right as you say that, it's Tuna to break. Yeah, this has been a struggle for most players to really stay consistent. You know, Decaton eventually broke the large combo. Rectagon now holding the only combo in the lobby over 400. And it's going to maintain this lead by about 100k, but that consistency aspect is proving to be a challenge for pretty much everyone. Another break comes through for Decay, another break comes through for Taquito. There goes Rectagon, the biggest combo now gone for Together We Are Terrific, and you do still see Forum and Hyok and, in fact, Enri. 3 pretty sizable combos on the side of APAC Radiant. A quarter of the map to go. That is a lot of time on a map that is this long. 3 big combos, and that lead is dropping precipitously. It is 90k and now down to 80k and continuing to shrink. This is going to go over to APAC Radiant eventually if they continue to hold, but they don't. It's now only Forum. But there's not a lot of combo Together We Are Terrific either. This could get scary close at the ending. If Forum can continue to hold, he might be able to solo this one, but it's still 60,000 points. It's not dropping as fast as it may need to, but there are more breaks for Together We Are Terrific. Oh, this is getting scary, but Forum finally breaks.
And that was a really close call. Forum was about to do the unthinkable on the end of this map. Solo carry performance there was imminent, but at the end of the day, Together We Are Terrific gonna escape with their lives on this one, really. This DT4 pick was so close for most of it, but Decaton and Rectagon putting in the work. Window Life is well up at 430k, and that is going to be their 4th point on the board, still up 1 break point APAC Radiant are going to need to take that breakpoint back at some point if they want a chance at this set, but for now, Together We Are Terrific, holding strong, now more than halfway to their match.
And that one was a little too close for comfort. If you're Together We Are Terrific, you don't want to be dependent on Forum breaking in the last couple hundred combo to avoid giving the map away. But they managed to escape nonetheless. Just very, very similar scores across the board, just the slightly higher scores from Rectagon and Decaton. And I feel like, you know, we've talked a lot about Yomiuri. Very curious to see if that's where they go next. And on the APAC Radiant side, it feels like they have more picks that feel favored to them. It feels like. Whether or not that will play out in practice is a different matter. But they do still have the free mod 1 here. They do still have the Hard Rock 2 if they want to go that way. They have the free mod 3 if they want to go that way. Yes, they, you know, the Nomad 6 obviously didn't go great, but free mod 3 is kind of along that avenue if they want it. So we will... I will be interested in what direction those they go. I feel like it's free mod 1 here. You talked about it before, and I said they should pick Nomad 4, and they did. I do think free mod 1, though, the next best.
Yeah, that's the most raw tech map remaining. You also have Shaw, technically a slider map, if you want to go into some CS7 plus Hard Rock bullshit that I don't believe they're going to try to pick. At least not yet. That map, way too volatile to try to pick that at this point in the match. I think you take your pretty for sure point on Honks, but it's actually gonna be Speed'em. Okay, now this map on Hard Rock is also no joke, but it's also funny, I think, to be picked after that DT4. It's another alt map, although a much different style of alt map from the DT4, where Kimi no Kyoku is a lot of awkward aim. This one is a little more flow heavy.
Yeah, this is some more hype pooling in this one. Going alt into alt, but different styles of alt, as you said. I have to agree. With as close as that DT4 ended up being, this feels like it should just be another super competitive one, right? Like, this doesn't feel overly favored either direction, but perhaps it works out a little better for Forum, I don't know, or some other member of APAC Radiant. I mean, I put a lot of the emphasis on him on that team. Yeah, I can't see a way that this one isn't pretty close as well, to be honest. That's all I got to say about this one. I think it's gonna be pretty hard fought.
I mean, that DT4 was super close too. Like, the alt maps are just so close on these two teams, both extremely talented alt rosters. But we're gonna be seeing a different look for APAC Radiant on this one. We see Secret Box and Allegrisimo coming in for, I believe, the first time this match to join Hyuk and Forum. Meanwhile, Together We Are Terrific, I can only imagine they're probably going to play a similar roster as to the DT4. I see no world where Rectagon doesn't play this, and probably going to see Taquito or Window Life to come in to take the other two spots with Decaton.
Yeah, I think, you know, Decaton and Rectagon are the two really obvious ones in this one. With it being Hard Rock, you kind of question Taquito being in a little bit, since generally that's not what he's known for. Obviously capable of it, but not, you know, his, like, preferred mod, generally speaking. So we'll see if he does indeed show up in this roster. And it looks like he probably will. I think in this stage, you're just going to expect him, I guess, regardless of mod, since the skill cap is so high. Freddie Benson fourth? Freddie Benson alt? Question mark?
You know, I actually don't know what this map exactly looks like. I just know it's a harder worldwide choppers, and that means that there's going to be a lot of flow aim. And if it's mostly flow aim, I think Freddie Benson's a good shout on this one, but that's going to be their roster to go up against Secret Box, Allegrisimo, Hyuk, and Forum.
What an interesting roster for APAC Radiant, by the way. Secret Box and Allegrisimo in for this is very interesting to me, since those are not players you would usually associate with, like, this mod or skill set, generally speaking. Again, like, they're obviously capable, but not what you normally see them in for. But in we go into another very long map. This is this pool is just long. There's no way around it. This pool is something. It's something like an average length of 3.5 minutes per map, and like 8 maps over 4 minutes or something. So there's just a lot of consistency involved in a lot of these picks, and you got to be able to build up combo, and you got to stay stable and locked in for an extended period of time, which is a skill in its own right.
Yep, Dio pulling no punches with this map pool. Just so many long maps. We see an early trade going to come out from Secret Box and Taquito, but that's more than a trade that favors APAC Radiant, as Rectigon going to drop as well. So a early lead for them, but as we mentioned, this map almost 5 minutes in length. The early breaks aren't going to kill you on this one, as we see Freddie Benson dropping as well. So it's only Decaton up against 3 FCs from APAC Radiant going into the first course soon.
Yeah, this is going to get a bit dicey for Together We Are Terrific. Decaton breaks that FC. It is a trade with Box and Hyok, but again, it's APAC Radiant fine with that. Alagrisimo and Forum still holding the double FC. You do have the recoveries coming in from Rectigon, Taquito, and Freddie Benson, but they've got their work cut out for them as that lead already 75k, and we're just past a quarter of the way through in a very long map, so 75k is actually bigger than it may sound.
Yeah, and still 2 FCs for APAC Radiant. Meanwhile, Together We Are Terrific holding on to a 400 combo from Rectigon and about 400 combos from Taquito and Freddie Benson as we get into the M&M part.
Oh, and there's several misses. It's going to be Box, Alagrisimo, and Taquito all trading some breaks. Forum still on the FC, but that's going to be, I think, actually slightly in favor of Together We're Terrific. There goes Forum as well, and now the combo will definitely go over to Together We're Terrific, but it is a break from Freddy. However, you have Decaton matching Hyok, and you have Rectigon ahead of everyone else, and that is exactly what you want for Together We Are Terrific. The gap already down under 50,000 points, and it's going to continue to go their way if those combos continue to hold for the American side. Looking to bring this back. There goes Hyok as well, and now this is going to go fast over to Together We Are Terrific if they can maintain combo.
Rectigon is #1 Hard Rock on this. He is so dangerous on these Hard Rock maps. He does finally drop, though. But the team is there to back him up. Decaton with the combo and Freddie Benson reestablishing some as well. But that's going to be mostly matched by the side of APAC Radiant with Forum, Alagrisimo, and Secret Box all bringing back their combo. And this map is almost back to equilibrium at this point. About a 20k lead for APAC Radiant. But it's not going to go very far in that direction. But there goes Decaton. The big combo is down for Together We Are Terrific as we get into this insane diff spike. This aim is absolutely unreal, and the whole lobby is going to be wiping out on that pattern. Now we're really back at equilibrium, but with 35k lead for APAC Radiant.
Yeah, this just started over completely. I think Hyok might have hit all or at least part of that crazy pattern, but it really, it was effectively a full lobby reset when you look at the combo. As you said, 35k in favor of APAC Radiant, but that is just not very much. It's a whole new map with about a third to a quarter of the way to go. It's Taquito to break, but that lead is tenuous at best for APAC Radiant. 44,000 points, 1/4 of the map to go. Plenty of combo and score still remains into this ending. It's all going to be about who can maintain the combo, and it's looking like almost everyone trades from Taquito and Hyok to come through, but 6 combos still alive.
Freddie Benson smoking Gasha. It makes me think if he's single tapping this one, which would be absolutely insane from him, but not out of his nature. He is one of the fast single tap players of this game. As Decaton gonna be finding a drop, and now APAC Radiant also finding a drop on Forum and Hyok. But still, I think the lead is gonna start to be a little bit safer for them. Taquito finding another drop. It's just Secret Box and Alagrisimo holding onto those big combos as we get into the last little chorus here. But all of the difficult patterns of this map are over. It's all about the ship misses now, and I don't think there are going to be any to be had for APAC Radiant, and they're probably going to get on the board again with this.
Yeah, this absolutely comes down to the wire on this pick, but APAC Radiant should be out in front by just enough to hang on to it. Alagrisimo and Secret Box going to do what it takes to keep it alive into that ending. It's a bare minimum 53k score gap, but it ends up being enough. And man, it felt like Together We Are Terrific had their opportunities in that, but just not quite able to make it happen. Third point goes up for APAC Radiant, staying just 1 point behind. That one crucial break point from the first pick of the set for Together We Are Terrific, and they're clinging to that. It is their tree of life in this first set that they need to stay alive. It is their own pick to come. Do we finally see Yomiuri, or will it be another kind of off-the-wall pick for that side?
Scores in the lobby for this last map, by the way, are almost all the same. Most of the lobby getting somewhere between 400 and 500k on that one, just a bottom outlier for Taquito on that one, down at 330k, really hurting Together We Are Terrific on that one. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Together We Are Terrific have to switch up their pick strategy soon. They already did with the DT4, but they still have that Yomiuri in their back pocket. I'm just really curious when they decide to pick it. But there's other skill sets as well in this matchup that are going to need to be tapped into once Yomiuri is picked. There's 3 aim maps in the Nomad 1, Hidden 1, and Hard Rock 1 that nobody has wanted to pick so far. And also just the free mod pool, just sitting down there completely untouched. I'm really curious to see which team decides to opt into it, because you do have an anti-mod map in the free mod 2. You have Honks, the slider map that I think favors APAC Radiant heavily. And then you have that free mod 3. But we're getting Shaw. Okay, this is the last pick I expected from Together We Are Terrific right now. Oh my god.
I will say, I called this out because Together We Are Terrific have a certain Bashi man on their team who is the precision player of all time. They have Rectigon, who is a ludicrously good hard rock tech player. And they will probably have 2 other people who can go in for this map and play it. Yeah, APAC Radiant will have Forum on this, but I can understand why Together We Are Terrific may feel like this is a good option for them here when you consider their roster as a whole. It's about the 4v4. It's not just about, you know, the player at the top, right? But sometimes, if you've got a specialist in a super niche, super gimmick skill set, that sometimes can be enough. We saw it on the DT2. Maybe could see it again here. The rare times that the real solo carry could be possible are some of these super, super weird and unusual picks.
Yeah, and I mean, Shaw Hard Rock, this map is just the definition of volatility. It's CS6 plus HR, which I believe is 7.8, and you have some ludicrously long sliders in extremely awkward shapes with slider ticks that can catch you off in just about every slider. And you also have some longer, even like buzz sliders, like a buzz slider that's just a little bit longer. If you don't put your cursor in the middle, those can catch you off as well. Like this map, it throws a lot at you. And Together We Are Terrific here, I think it's just a little bit of confidence on that type of slider aim, because where we probably favor APAC Radiant on other types of slider aim, this particular type of gimmicky slider aim just kind of fits together as a perfect storm that might favor Together We Are Terrific on this one.
We're gonna find out. I guess that's all we can say. We're gonna find out. We go some back-to-back hard rock. We'll see if Together We Are Terrific can turn it the other way. Barely losing the first hard rock pick of the set. Hoping for better fortune on the second one. It's going to be Box Allegrisimo, Hyok, and Forum. Indeed, the same roster as on Hard Rock 3. Rectagon, Decaton, Window Life, and Bashi Man. 4 Together We Are Terrific. So switching their roster up a bit. Window Life and Bashi Man coming in for this one to replace Freddie Benson and Taquito. And look at how small those circles are, ladies and gentlemen. This is Osu for Ants.
Osu for Ants and also Osu for Electrical Engineers, because the slider shapes on this, they aren't too bad to play on Nomad, but on the Hard Rock, those shapes are so brutal. You have to make some really quick snaps if you want to hit some of the slider ends. And we can already see some of the aim control patterns mixed in as well. Going to be catching out Allegrisimo and Decaton on the early goings, but it's going to be an early lead for APAC Radiant, especially as Window Life finds another drop as well. Just a little more stability for APAC Radiant out of the start here.
And stability kind of feels like the name of the game on a pick like this. There goes Bashi as well. And you got Forum Hyok on the full combos. Allegrisimo on a good recovery. There goes Rectagon as well as Bashi again. This one looking a little sketchy through the early goings for Together We Are Terrific. They have Decaton and Window Life on some recovery. There are the breaks from Box and Forum, but Hyok still on that big combo. Despite the low accuracy, it really doesn't matter. You're not expecting to get good ACK on this. You just want to do the best you can with the combo. And Allegrisimo, likewise, keeping the combo up, even if the ACK isn't, because nobody has good ACK on this. So what difference does it make? Window Life kind of on his own.
Allegrissimo is just kind of that hard rock demon that you never expect. Like, I feel like I always get surprised by his hard rock prowess every OWC when I see him doing his thing. But that break from Hyok during this low section is going to be a little bit brutal for them. But matched by Decaton, it's not going to be too bad for them. They still have a combo lead on Allegrissimo, who is still holding on to an S rank, maybe even a full combo.
I believe that is just an S rank. I think he's enough behind Hyok's score that's an early slider break, I believe. Score 135k in the lead for APAC Radiant. Together we are terrific. Can only sit and watch through this break as the seconds tick away. The moments count down. Allegrissimo, the only real combo for APAC Radiant. But Window Life and Hydrogen Bomb, Mr. Rectagon, have to hold for quite some time and hope for an Allegrissimo break if they want to bring this one back, because that score lead is not going anywhere too quickly.
Yeah, we're about to get on into that next Ki section. The second one is a lot harder than the first. There's a little bit more awkward rhythms at play in the second Ki section. Allegrissimo gonna go down, traded with Window Life though. Now it's just all eyes on Rectagon, 400 combo through this deceptively difficult part. He gets through the build-up and now into the next little Ki section we go. It's just all Rectagon. The lead is going down so quickly and it's all because of him.
This entire map is on Rectagon's tablet. He is playing like a man possessed in the back section of this map, but will it be enough? APAC Radiant struggling left, right, and center, but Rectagon holds on like a ship in a storm, staying afloat through the waves as they crash around him. The lead goes over to Together We Are Terrific, and this work from Rectagon is immaculate. This is a clinic put on by one of the best hard rock tech players in the game. You are seeing a ridiculous score and an unbelievable carry from Rectagon, the hero of the United States and OWCs, and he's going to be the hero of Together We Are Terrific here on Shaw Hard Rock, as it is an 875, a near 900 combo into the end, putting his team on his back, and they're going to put up their 5th point on the board, and this score is something that has to be seen to be believed.
Shaw Hard Rock is something that would be completely unheard of in a tournament just a few years ago, and Rectagon just FCing the back half of this map is just completely insane. By the way, the top Hard Rock only combo on this map is 617 from Badu. The top hidden Hard Rock combo is 494, and Rectagon just almost doubled Badu's combo. 1,033 combo on that, 3 misses. This is the best Hard Rock score on the map by a long shot. And it's not like people don't play this map with Hard Rock, by the way. This is a very competitive, very iconic gimmicky slider map, and Rectagon putting out an insane score on it to keep his team in the lead on their pick. And it was literally all him, by the way.
Yeah, that was... I talked about going into that map. If you have one player who can do something absolutely crazy, who can just go nuclear on a map, they can sometimes carry some of these crazy niche maps. And that is exactly what it took, and that is exactly what Rectagon did. Talk about rising to the occasion. When you put it all together as to what he just did, I mean, it won't look like it because it's a few misses, and, you know, it's not an FC. It's 95 AC, it's 3 misses, it's 591k. But despite all that, that is one of the most incredible, relative to the context it's in, tournament scores that you will see in a very long time.
Yeah, and it's not like you have a super hype song to go alongside it. Shaw is kind of like, the song is pretty low-key, not too intense, but what Rectagon just did is absolutely unheard of. Like, that score, you're going to be hard-pressed to see any kind of hard rock aim control precision prowess like what Rectagon just did anytime soon. And the Fremont 3, gonna come out from APAC Radiant. We've got Snapside by Bob.
And this is essentially another Nomad 6, albeit down in the Fremont pool, is essentially what's going on here. This is rhythm changing, it is control aim, and it's on Fremont, which means you gotta have somebody who's comfortable enough with this on Hard Rock, gotta have somebody who's comfortable enough with this on Hidden. Just add to the challenge a little bit. And if you listen to the song, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, I mean, APAC Radiant, keen to pick into this gimmickier map. And Together We Are Terrific, though. I think this kind of gimmick is another type of thing that they're also going to be really strong on. Rectigon, Decaton in the lobby. Very noteworthy players on this type of map. But APAC Radiant back starting to get up against the wall. Status quo not too good for them right now. If they lose this pick in a break point, it will be absolutely catastrophic for their chance at winning this first set. Already down a break point. But still deciding to go with this one.
It's interesting to opt into this in such a crucial moment in this set after dropping the Nomad 6 earlier. But we'll see how it goes for APAC Radiant. Like you said, catastrophic, indubitably so. This would be essentially set losing. You're basically just asking for a bracket reset if APAC Radiant loses this, because Together We Are Terrific at that point double breaks 6-3 lead. So, crucial. May describe this map. And we should be getting into it here. I'm curious what the mods are going to be, by the way. I don't actually have a great feel for what the mod choices will be in this one.
I'm really not too sure either. I think this is the type of thing where you see Allegrissimo probably take Hard Rock, or potentially a Flying Tuna hidden Hard Rock. They're definitely putting Forum on hidden or no mod, and then Henry taking the other of whatever that is. Meanwhile, I think it's definitely Taquito hidden. It's probably Window Life Hard Rock. But really, I think Together We Are Terrific. They can run any one of not Taquito on the Hard Rock, but it's going to be Rectigon taking the Hard Rock. Okay. I was thinking they might decide to put him on the no mod, but his impact up against whatever the Hard Rock player is for APAC Radiant is going to be really strong. And it's going to be Allegrissimo, so the top middle players going to be taking the HR with actually a double Hard Rock, the over mod coming out from Together We Are Terrific. Decaton also going to go Hard Rock on this. So we're going to see how that goes for him. That's a really ballsy move in this type of setting.
I don't even feel like it's necessary either, right? Like, wouldn't you just as soon have one or the other of them on no mod on this? I feel like. But this is relatively dense, I suppose. I mean, it's CS4. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with an explanation for it, and it's not really working. We'll see if it works out for them. But it's early breaks from Decaton, as well as Window Life, Allegrissimo, and Forum to fall for APAC Radiant in the early goings. It's dead even. Basically dead even.
Finally a shorter map after what feels like just infinite long maps in this pool. 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Honestly, not even that short. It's more of a mid-length pick. But this one, early breaks aren't going to be the end of the world. But that one from Decaton at about the 1/4 mark, and that one from Taquito, all going to have high impact. But Forum and Allegrissimo going to trade out both of those drops, so it's going to be Window Life and Rectigon up against Henry and Flying Tuna with a slight advantage to APAC Radiant on that. But there goes Henry.
Oh, goodness, that was a whole bunch of misses on that pattern, by the way. Henry, Rectigon, Taquito, and Decaton all falling at about the same time. We have a combo on Window Life, and then Tuna and Forum. They've been a duo as well for APAC Radiant. It's been clutch on a lot of maps in this tournament. And with Window Life falling, this is going to start getting out of hand. APAC Radiant will really have the opportunity to run away with it. Even with that break from Tuna, you still have Forum on a 400 combo, you have Henry on a 250 combo, and really nothing to answer that at all for Together We Are Terrific. So this pick working out pretty well for the APAC Radiant side.
After a lot of really close picks, it's a little bit comforting to see one that's super definitive like this. APAC Radiant. Almost 300k in the lead. It's going to be a dominating performance from them on this one. And Forum into the ending. What feels like it's been a little bit of a quiet match from him. Going to be putting out one of the top scores on this one to go up and join his teammate Flying Tuna up at 400k.
Yeah, like you said, Forum has not set the remarkable late-stage gimmick scores that we're kind of used to seeing from him. He's been good, but he's not been outstanding. He's not been, kind of the best at a ton of different maps like you're used to seeing. He will top score this, but I mean, not by the margin, that you might expect out of the performances we've seen from him of late, but it will be more than enough. It's 630k. I mean, I think it was 630k. Somebody left very quickly. No, it was indeed 630k. Decaton was out of there. I don't blame him. Dropping 206k on that is not going to feel great. But APAC Radiant just continuing to kind of keep within striking distance, right? They put up, they go down 5-3. They put up a 4th point. they're just staying 1 point away. It's still the breakpoint advantage for Together We Are Terrific, but as long as it's only one breakpoint, it always feels like you're just a couple seconds away from bringing it back. We've seen them almost make it happen. We've seen them have chances and just not quite follow through on them. Maybe this will be the one, because Miles, this pool is gonna start to dwindle.
There's a lot of aim left. Nomad 1, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, but nobody wants to pick it. So outside of those, you have Yomiuri and Honks and the Fremont 2. And I don't know if either of these teams really want to pick aim into each other. If Together We Are Terrific is to pick aim, they did do pretty well on the Nomad 1 against Bob earlier, but otherwise, I mean, I'm still just waiting on the Yomiuri from them.
Yeah, I feel like we've been sitting on the Yomiuri for now our 10th pick, and we are finally getting it. It is Yomiuri at long last. It has felt like an inevitability throughout this match. Sooner or later, Together We Are Terrific, we're going to pick this map. Maybe it's in the back pocket as, you know, break glass in case of emergency type of pick. But we are going to get it, and this is a map that needs absolutely no introduction. It is one of the most famous maps in Osu history, and it is a setting for what could be a match point push for Together We Are Terrific here in this first set of the Grand Finals.
This is just a map that so many players in this lobby, I think, have very high potential on. Secret Box, a renowned stream player along with Henry, but this one, I think it's just hyper focus on Rectigon here, because his streaming ability on this BPM is just about the best in the world ever since Cookiesy stopped playing this type of map. Like, he has absolutely the potential to FC this in the lobby, but also I expect Freddie Benson to come in and put on a really good score on this one, because I referenced this earlier in the match, the Yomiuri performance in Test Tournament 2 something like 5 years ago, where he beat all of the best tourney players in the world like Vaxe and Bubbleman on the Riven set of Yomiuri, and now he's just, it would be a little bit of karmic justice for him to come in and top score this one.
Yeah, it's quite the circle to try to close by coming back to the tournament scene and seeing this map once more, or this song at least once more all this time later. Now, of course, Together We Are Terrific did play this earlier. They put up a decent, not great score. It was 1.4 million. Freddy, 288k. Decaton, 237k. Not what you want. Rectagon Window Life, 451k, 425k. Those are more in line with what you need out of this map. Everyone on Team Bob putting up 400k or better. Bubbleman dropping a near 500k. So that team had a better time with this. Together We Are Terrific will need to improve, I think, or will want to improve at the very least. I don't know that you want to be dropping sub 300k against a roster of Henry, Secret Box, Allegrissimo, and Tuna on a map like this. But this was a map, as we said, we have waited this entire match to see. We expected it, we anticipated it, and now we are getting it. And it is a classic, and in we go. We'll see in 8 minutes on the other side of this one. But I have to think that this should be hard fought, unless Henry's trouble here in this first stream is foreshadowing of what's to come.
And I definitely don't think so. This map, 8 minutes in length, and not much downtime in it at all. There's like maybe a minute of downtime out of that 8, so non-stop action is here. And who else threw the first 400 combo other than Freddie Benson and Flying Tuna? The two OGs of the lobby putting up scores that fit those titles as they both get through the intro, arguably one of the hardest parts of Yomiuri, and now getting on into some of the more aim-intensive sections here with one of the hardest streams behind them. It's going to be a 30k lead for Together We Are Terrific.
And that is just so minimal. That, like you said, that really is one of the hardest parts of the map. The first 700 combo are some of the harder streams. It jumps straight into it with, you know, it doesn't let you warm up at all. You have to be ready to go. And now you'll see players most likely starting to build up some combo even with that break from Algoritmo. But these sliders can get you, and there goes a trade, in fact. It's Box and Rectagon. But it's Tuna and Freddy the ones to watch on those continuing full combos. Decaton and Window Life on some solid backing score. Alongside, it's going to be Henry in the combined combo with the others. But Freddy Benson is going to drop, and now it is Tuna with the lone FC in the lobby. 50k score lead for Together We Are Terrific, having a little better time on their backing players compared to APAC Radiant. Tuna, though, man, still holding the FC, 1150 combo in.
Tuna notably playing with a hand injury here, but still, Yomiuri, I mean, this is just an iconic performance already from a player who is one of the best tourney players in the world back when this map was still new, that new thing everyone was pushing. Flying Tuna, gonna be doing it all here for the side of APAC Radiant, but the combos aren't there on anyone else on his team, and the combos are there for Together We Are Terrific to match his FC on what was Rectagon, and now Decaton still holding on to the 1k. The lead should remain in favor of Together We Are Terrific through this aim section, but the breaks are gonna come in. Secret Box, Rectagon, and Window Life all go down, but lead should stay consistent at that 60k unless the break comes in from Flying Tuna or Decaton, and there goes Tuna on that little stream with that little spacing change, catching him off guard, and now Decaton 1k combo. Another player I don't think you'd expect to put up such a good score on Yomiuri.
No, but Decaton has been a pretty solid tiebreaker player, and this is basically just a tiebreaker map, so able to lock in on some of these longer, consistently high difficulty picks that are just a lot of raw mechanics. And wow, everybody making it through that little rhythm change section. The 1/3 is not catching anybody out. And there we are, 1/3 of the way through the break. They'll see the scores: 628k for Together We Are Terrific, 516k for APAC Radiant, 112k the score lead. Decaton, Reading, Aura, Freddy Benson,
Aura,
Decaton, Henry, sorry for leaving slow? Sorry for loading slow? Not really sure what that was. But the combo's huge for almost everyone. Henry the lowest at 275. Everybody else over 450. Tuna, excuse me, 350. Score lead's going to be a comfortable spot for Together We Are Terrific, but you're going to get into the solo and things are going to get difficult. The middle third of this has plenty of difficult parts, just like the rest of the map.
As we are about to get into probably the second hardest stream of the map. Freddy does go down on the slow section, but here it is. This stream is really long and really difficult. Let's see if anyone finds a chain miss on it. Tuna goes down, but everyone else is gonna hold on. Now Decaton, that combo approaching 2k. This is an unbelievable setting to set such a good score on Yomiuri. Algoritmo goes down into some of the harder jumps of the map, but everyone holding on strong for Together We Are Terrific. Rectagon and Window Life there to back up Decaton, and he is going to reach 2k combo on Yomiuri in the match. What is the guy doing?
Yeah, this is just a remarkably clutch performance in a match that's been full of remarkably clutch performances. He does finally fall, but he got to that 2k combo mark, and Rectagon and Window Life are there to back it up. 1200 combo Rectagon, just reaching 1200 combo Window Life. But look at the other side. You've got 1200 combo and Box finally falling. Henry falls as well. Their two biggest combos just gone, and there goes Tuna as well. APAC Radiant had the opportunity to maybe work to pull this back if Together We Are Terrific found breaks, but instead they all just fall by the wayside. And now it is Rectagon and Window Life to take over. Decaton the lead out man, but the other two here to back him up with some gigantic combos of their own. As we head into the last third, it's a 300k lead for Together We Are Terrific.
And it's those two guys, Rectagon and Window Life, finally going down, both of them on this little space stream section.
It's full reset. It's full reset. Everyone in the lobby missed in that section.
Yeah, that's okay. This is the part that Cookiezi broke on back in like 2017 whenever he set that iconic score. Like, this section is probably the hardest section of the map that isn't stream related, you know? Like, beside the long streams, that part just so brutal. But yeah, still, Together We Are Terrific, gonna be completely fine with that combo reset. 336k of lead on no mod without any combos on the other team. You can kind of just coast into the ending on that kind of score lead.
Yeah, you're pretty comfortable here if you're Together We Are Terrific. 340k score lead, combo relatively similar, basically across the board. Break from Henry to help them out a little bit more. 400 to 500 combo on all four members. 7 out of the 8 members in the lobby, in fact. Only Henry, who is not having the greatest of time, unfortunately. But it's going to be... Let's fast forward here. A couple minutes of map. It's going to be almost guaranteed a sixth point on the board for Together We Are Terrific. They'll have 2 match points in their pocket, unless something really tragic happens in the last portion of the map. I don't think possible, but that would be the only way to lose this one. And then things get interesting as it's match points for the last 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, APAC Radiant cannot afford to take another breakpoint, but I think they've done a pretty good job leaving some of their potential picks left on the board. Honks is still there. That slider map has been there for the entire match, and perhaps opting to leave it till the end, so they have a tech map remaining for their last pick, which I think cannot be understated how important that is. That is a map where they're going to have a full roster. They aren't going to get 4th playered at all by Together We Are Terrific on that. But for them, Together We Are Terrific now going up to match point. No more tapping left in this pool. They're going to need to choose something from the scraps of the remainder of the map pool, which I believe after this pick, Nomad 1, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, and then the Free Mod 1 and Free Mod 2. So those 5 maps remaining.
Now, this is going to be a very interesting situation for both of these teams to end up in, coming out of this pick into those last 2 maps. Well, 1 for sure, 2 if necessary. See how the players do on this last stream as we close out Yomiuri. We waited an hour and 20 minutes of this match to finally see it picked, and it delivered with some crazy scores on the side of Together We Are Terrific. Decaton, 2K plus combo, gonna finish at 480k, Rectagon 460k, Windowlight 400k. Very, very good scores. All better than any score on the side of APAC Radiant. Another team gap for Together We Are Terrific. Another point for Together We Are Terrific. And match points in hand for Together We Are Terrific.
Yeah, Decaton, take a screenshot of this, send it to whatever girl you're DMing, because she's going to love it. Yomiuri, almost 500k. Such a great score from him. Not a player you traditionally think of as a stream player or a tapping player, but that stream grind paying off in dividends for him. 2.1k combo for 93k. So good.
And we're going to go, I have to think, to about the polar opposite skill set wise of what we just saw. Because, as you said, not a lot of maps remaining in the pool. But I really feel that this just has to be Honks. I don't know where else you go if not to Honks if you are APAC Radiant here. You don't go Nomad 1, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, in all likelihood. So your options are Free Mod 1 or Free Mod 2. And I think Honks, of those, you just say, all right, listen, we had to have Forum out for the last map because it was raw stream consistency for 8 minutes, not a Forum map. Let's put Forum in for a map that he is most likely to gap the lobby on. And that map is almost assuredly feeling to me like it's going to be Honks.
I will be absolutely dumbfounded if it's not Honks. This is the type of map that I would expect them to pick like 1st or 2nd in this kind of matchup. And I mean, Together We Are Terrific, they have the players for that map. I mean, Rectagon, Hard Rock, Taquito Hidden on that is very lethal. But that just... Tech has been the skill set for APAC Radiant in this matchup. They've won every tech pick so far in this matchup. But they don't pick it. It's going to be the anti-mod Free Mod 2. Welcome to your new Overlord, mapped by Yolks Pie. And I cannot believe we don't see Honks get played.
I will note there is an interesting little tidbit about this particular map. Earlier today, Together We Are Terrific dropped 2 points against Bob, or yesterday, I guess, depending on your time zone. Together We Are Terrific dropped 2 points against Bob. They dropped a Bob pick, and they dropped a break point. And wouldn't you like to know what that one break point that they lost was?
Would it be this map?
That is right, dear viewer. It was Free Mod 2, welcome your new Overlord. It was Together We Are Terrific's first pick in that match, and they lost it. Their only breakpoint given up, and one of only 2 maps that they gave up in that match. They put up a 1.8 million, not a bad team score. It took a 750k from Bubbleman to take the breakpoint for Bob. But if you're APAC Radiant and you want to pick something that Together We Are Terrific didn't already win on today, this is a map that gives them that opportunity.
I mean, anti-mod also going to be something really good for APAC Radiant. No tapping in this at all. It's really awkward. You can bring in that star roster that they've won most of their points on. Enri Hyok. Allegrisimo going to come in, assuming he goes for the Hard Rock here over Flying Tuna, who's been in this roster most of the match. And Forum, once again, on the more awkward map, on the CS5 AR8, on the anti-mod, going to be a player to watch out for. And Together We Are Terrific. We see Rectigon, Boshi, Decaton, and One Tabby. I'm seeing a potential One Tabby easy on this, which would be absolutely absurd for a grand final setting. But otherwise, probably going to be Boshi Man on the hidden, Rectigon on the Hard Rock. Or maybe even another double Hard Rock. We saw Decaton double Hard Rock with Rectigon earlier. Could potentially happen again on this one. Meanwhile, I see probably Forum on the Nomad, Allegrisimo on the Hard Rock, Tuna on the Hidden. But it's actually going to be double Hard Rock for the side of APAC Radiant. Hyok and Allegrisimo on the Hard Rock, Forum on the Hidden, Tuna on the Nomad. Meanwhile, we see Hard Rock from Decaton, easy on One Tabby, and the Hidden on Boshi Man as we wait for Rectigon to load in, or Panic, or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there with Rectigon. We probably need a Panic to try to get him in. But we are just going to sit and wait on it for now. Hopefully our streamer is alive. There we go. I was a little worried there for a second. But Rectigon is going to load in on that Hard Rock. So overmod. Well, yeah, it's 4 modded players for Together We Are Terrific, by the way. 1.6 multiplier on the easy for those playing along at home, so there will be a little bit of math involved in this one. But if it's close, Together We Are Terrific will be like in the lead. Other than that, it's going to be a little mental math throughout this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe the easy multiplier is built in. I know some streams have that, not sure about this one, but yeah, 300 combo into this one is still a 4-way for APAC Radiant, and if that keeps up, we're not going to need to calculate anything, as One Tabby does find a drop, but it's going to be traded with Forum, so it's 3 FCs to 3, and there goes Hyok, though. That is one of the FCs down, and now Together We Are Terrific should start reeling this one in.
Yeah, you've got the FCs still intact, Rectigon, Boshi, Decaton, all looking good. One Tabby... 168, 169, so my math skills at 1:30 in the morning are going to be a little lacking, but if it's this close, I think they're going to be in an okay spot. He does break. Your easy player breaking is, like, bad, but not the end of the world. You've still got a triple FC on the other players, and they're kind of showing here, right, why they were willing to first pick this in their earlier match. There's another break from Hyok. There goes Tuna as well. Decaton with the break, as well as Rectigon. Wait just a second, Miles. One Tabby falls as well. Boshi still on the combo, but you have the matching FC on Allegrisimo, and you have backing combo on Forum. It's 70k. I don't know what that means. I'm going to need math. This is going to be a calculator moment.
Yeah, bust out your calculators. I think this goes to APAC Radiant. I don't think One Tabby's score is high enough. But yeah, some insane scores coming out. Allegrisimo and Boshi Man, Hard Rock and Hidden FC. But the One Tabby score, I don't think it's high enough for them to win this pick.
Well, that's, oh, geez. That's equivalent to a 371k score. And they lost by 165k, so I believe they lose by literally like 20,000 points or something. I need a final bit of math on this, but I do believe that APAC Radiant takes the point by a tiny margin. And indeed, that is going to be the case. So it will be APAC Radiant by a tiny amount. It's literally, it's like 25, 30k, somewhere in there. Just rough math in my head here. And so that means it is the last pick of the match. Together We Are Terrific, 6-5, 1 pick left to decide whether they can close out the set or whether we'll see a tiebreaker. It's going to be Nomad 1, Hidden 1, or Hard Rock 1. We're getting aim. Some form of aim.
Unless they throw the grand curveball out of left field, and
I'm like ignoring free mod 1. I'm just expecting that it's not free mod 1. I should have mentioned it, but I just don't see it possible.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like on paper there's no way they go for that. I think it's probably going to be no mod 1 here, but I mean, their mod lineup for Honks feels really good, actually. Like, Taquito on the hidden, like, that's his jam. Like, Decaton and Rectigon on that, like, that could be pretty good. But it is ballsy, but at this point in the match, every pick is going to be ballsy. Like, you either go with aim, something you haven't touched at all this match, or pick into a skill set you've played a little bit of so far, but still, it's just anyone's guess for what they pick. And it's going to be the Hard Rock one, When My Devil Rises. Okay, there's another pick that I get. You're picking for some of your strongest players here. Rectigon on the Hard Rock. Probably going to be joined by Decaton, Window Life, and Freddie Benson on this one. I think this is maybe the best of the three.
Yeah, I think it was Nomad 1 or Hard Rock 1. I don't think it was Hidden 1. And either Hard Rock 1 or Nomad 1, we kind of talked about it feeling like Together We're Terrific might have a bit of a Hard Rock advantage in this matchup. That what feels like maybe an hour ago or something like that when we were getting into the Hard Rock pool for the first time. They traded, of course, those Hard Rocks. Together We're Terrific could have maybe pulled off an upset breakpoint on Speedum. Did win on Shaw with the heroics of Rectigon. So we're going to get the full Hard Rock pool played. And where will the aim skill set in the Hard Rock pool fall is the question. Will it go the way of Together We Are Terrific? I feel like their aim Hard Rock roster is really scary.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. We don't really have a sample size for any of this like high spacing aim at all in this matchup. All of the aim has either gone banned or unpicked, so we have something we haven't seen any of at all so far this match being picked, and I don't know who the big player is going to be. It's a Kirigiri map. It's very comfortable aim. Not anything that any of these players shouldn't be able to play, but being consistent on it is a whole nother story, and I'm not exactly sure who's up to that task. I mean, have to look at Rectigon, who's been hands down the MVP for Together We Are Terrific this match, but on the side of APAC Radiant, Hyok, Allegrissimo, and Forum, and Henry, all very high potential on this, so gonna see how this one goes. It is the final pick of the match before either we get forced to the bracket reset or we get a tiebreaker forced by APAC Radiant. It all comes down to this.
This is the moment that you live for. These late match moments with the grand finals on the line. You can either force a tiebreaker if you're APAC Radiant. You can close it out here if you're Together We Are Terrific. They've started out with 3 breaks in the first 75 combo, mind you. A lot of map to come, of course, but not what you want to see. Decaton, Henry, Allegrissimo, Freddie Benson. It is Hyok, who is one of the best aim players in the world, also breaking, and now just Forum left. And, wow, this is all a struggle. When you wait this long into a match to play real big aim, yeah, there's aim in Yomiuri, but other than that, we really haven't had much of it. Maybe this is what happens. The aim just not warmed up on anybody, and it's going to take them a couple moments to get into it, as finally we start to see some stability here between the players.
Yeah, finally it's going to be Window Life and Rectigon holding on to some combo as we get into the first chorus. Here come some of the big jumps, and everyone is dropping. It feels like even the 200 and 300 combos are going to mean a lot on this map, as right now it's going to be Forum and Window Life. Window Life goes down though, and it's going to be Forum making it through that first chorus section, but he drops instantly after. So this lead is going to quite literally be teetering on the knife's edge as we get into this next little bridge section, as people continue to break just about everywhere.
Yeah, this is insane, actually. I mean, we've seen so many ludicrous performances from so many people that we almost forget that these players are actually human at the end of the day. But this map is reminding us with just the screen jumps that indeed these guys can break and break often. Nobody able to establish much combo. You've got Hyok at 230, Window Life at 250, and really that's about it. That's why this lead is sitting where it is, 12K, and the score is not even over 600,000 points yet, as it is just a bloodbath. Breaks left, right, and center. Together We Are Terrific having some trouble there with Decaton and Window Life both breaking, but it's a full reset on both sides! It's 8 players missing Miles. What is happening?
Chaos. This is chaos. This is what happens when you play a near 8-star aim map at the end of a match after not having picked aim yet. It's a 7.9k lead for Together We Are Terrific, and I feel like I haven't seen a lead go any higher than like 20k on this map. Everyone is just having such a horrible time with this map. It is just so brutal. The aim catching everybody off guard. But it's going to look to be a pretty small but consistent lead for the side of Together We Are Terrific. But that Decaton break during the slower section is going to start to throw that back once again to be under 10k. And that window life break, that one is going to be a disaster. You can't really miss there, buddy. This is the part of the map you're supposed to be comboing as the lead flips back over to APAC Radiant as we get into another one of these aim sections.
That is so big because you have Enri and Hyok on a decent amount of combo. Algrismo and Form as well. The resets are coming in for Together We Are Terrific. They've kind of fallen apart on this map. It is only Rectagon holding any combo, but there's the reset for all of APAC Radiant. Well, Rectagon holds. It only ever got up to 25-30k, and Rectagon is holding into some of these massive jumps coming into the last quarter of the map. He can bring this over on his own if he can just hold on for a little bit longer through some of these massive jumps. And there goes some more breaks from APAC Radiant. There goes some more breaks from Together We Are Terrific, but Rectagon holds among them all. Once more looking to play the hero as the lead goes over at the last moments to Together We Are Terrific. What is Rectagon doing? A 670 combo. This is what he's here for. This is why he's one of the best players in the game. He is showing a touch of class at the end of Hard Rock 1, looking to carry it the way he did on Sha, the way he has done so many times before. A 35k lead, the biggest either team has seen, finally breaks, but has he done enough?
I think he might have done enough. The combo is there on Hyok to try to contest this, but Hyok goes down. It's a 30k lead for Together We Are Terrific. It is full resets everywhere in the lobby, and T1G, I think Rectagon has done the work. The Hard Rock hero of the United States, comboing some of the hardest jumps in the map, gonna force the bracket reset in the Perennial. And Together We Are Terrific, that one break point on the first pick of the match from APAC Radiant, gonna be doing the work. And now we are getting the bracket reset forced.
Unbelievable amounts of cinema in this match. One break point, the first map of the entire set. And we go all the way to 7-5, 11 straight maps, won by the team picking them. And I'm not sure why he's saying for winning the match, GG, well played. There's a bracket reset. So it is going to force a bracket reset. I am waiting on confirmation from Dio. I'm not sure if the bracket reset is going to be played immediately. There was discussion of rescheduling it, so I'm trying to find out as we speak what's going to happen with that. While we wait, can we just talk about what an incredible first set we just saw? Because, my God, both teams just went absolutely nuclear so often. Together We Are Terrific got the clutch performance they needed on Sha and on the Hard Rock 1, and the early breakpoint that was all that made the difference in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Rectagon just easily one of the best Hard Rock tourney players in the world right now. On Sha and on Hard Rock 1, doing the same thing, holding insane combos into the ending of those maps, being able to force the lead back onto the side of Together We Are Terrific when they needed it most. And now, gonna be looking about the bracket reset. Some question marks right here. APAC Radiant requesting a reschedule because of Tuna's injury and Enri having a migraine and Kamenchik being asleep, etc. But I think we should just talk about the previous match. In the meantime, as you mentioned, we had 11 straight picks won by the teams who picked them after a breakpoint on the first map of the match, on the insane reading as well. A pick that you don't typically see teams with Forum on them lose. But otherwise, skill sets being pretty consistent across the sides. You saw APAC Radiant picking the tech and the aim control, winning on that mostly. And then Together We Are Terrific, it was all mechanics all the time from them with that funny Sha mixed in there, but still.
Okay, we're saying thanks for the match. Okay, well, we're gonna wait, yeah. It's really interesting the way the skill sets played out, and I'm just looking as well at, like, match costs and presence in the match. You had 4 players play 9 or more maps. Rectagon, the marathon man, 12 out of 12 maps and top scored 5 of them. Forum, 9 out of 12 maps, top scored 4 of them. So that's 9 of the 12 top scores between those 2 players alone. Which is really some incredible stuff. The level that those players were at is remarkable. And assuming that this bracket reset does get played at some point, it feels like we just run back the exact same thing that just happened, and I don't know. I mean, you got some insane pop-offs, right? Like, but at the same time, it felt like a lot of the picks, the team picking them was just always going to win. So it's the margins are slim in a couple maps. The margins were slim on like Nomad 4, 60k. Margin was slim on DT4, 100k. Margin was slim on Hard Rock 3, 53k. But a lot of the other stuff was like several 100,000 points. So it's very interesting to me what the pick and ban strategy might look like going forward.
I mean, this just felt to me...
Wow, we're actually playing now.
We're playing it now.
Wow. All right. Who wants to be up until 3 in the morning? Let's go.
Half of Together We Are Terrific, because East Coast United States right now, we are at 1:44 a.m. And just to read out some of the time zones for the side of Together We Are Terrific, we've got Taquito, East Coast, Rectagon, East Coast, Window Life, West Coast, Freddie Benson, East Coast, Bashi, West Coast, Decatur Central, Caleb West, One Tabby East. So half of that team is going to be starting another marathon of a bracket reset match at 1:45 in the morning. So we're going to be up a little bit past our bedtimes, Aaron.
Yeah, I am very glad I don't have to wake up in the morning for anything of particular importance. This is a bit of a later night than I think most of us are used to. And I'm going to say I think this advantages, to a certain extent, Together We Are Terrific. The big question is, at what point is it too late? Because Rectagon was your best player, and it is 2 a.m. almost for him. Taquito was playing quite well for much of this match. It is almost 2 a.m. for him as well. This is going to be some brutal scenes, and as well you know from your experience as a tournament player, we talked at the very beginning of the match, like, if you're an NA player in these late night start times against Asian teams, the later it goes, the worse off for you, and the better off for them, generally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough optics because Enri admitting to having a migraine, Tuna's hand injury, but USA team gonna be fighting against the clock here because, I mean, lucky for them, I think their speed picks were really, really, really definitively in their favor. Like, I don't see a world where they're gonna lose any of the speed maps in this pool, like Nomad 5, DT2, potentially DT3, all should guaranteed go in their favor regardless, but that focus is gonna start to wane the later you go into the night. And I mean, you referenced earlier on my experience as a tournament player. I had to play one of these bracket resets super late into the night. We actually finished it around this time though, in a 4-digit World Cup 2020, played up against Hong Kong and had one of these situations, but our speed abuse wasn't as determined and we lost the speed in that bracket reset. So that's just my experience on that. But for Together We Are Terrific, I don't think they're going to hesitate to pick the speed again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be much the same early picks in this set as it was in the first set. Maybe APAC Radiant chooses a ban other than DT3, but between Nomad 2, Nomad 5, DT1, DT2, Together is going to get to pick 2 of those and win them with their first 2 picks in all likelihood. APAC Radiant can ban out the other 2. And then you get the speed out of the way early before your fingers start to collapse from stress and exhaustion.
But yeah, I mean, some of those picks in the previous match were just so close that any big combo shift could have changed the outcome. So even though we saw 11 consistent picks in that last match, I think we're going to see different optics in this match just because, you know, have to play the maps again, have to get the good scores again. And any of those picks that were won by 100k or less could be toss-ups in the bracket reset, because that's just the way that OSU works.
We're going to get into our first ban phase here of the second set. It is going to be the DT2 ban this time. So it is an adjustment from APAC Radiant. They will opt into banning one of the maps that they did the worst on in that first set. No real surprise there. This was a struggle for APAC Radiant and a big, big win for Together We Are Terrific. Was their second pick, and they won it by 900K. It's going to be the Hidden 2 ban once again, coming out for Together We Are Terrific. Same first ban, so it does leave the same early options for APAC Radiant. Still have the Nomad 6, Nomad 3, Nomad 4, their first 3 picks before, all still available to them here. We will see. It's going to be first pick Together We Are Terrific here. And I think this is just going to be Nomad 5 again, or DT1. They do have the DT3 available to them this time as well, but I think those raw speed maps are a little bit more in their favor. They're going to take a little bit of time deciding on this first map of the deciding set of the entire tournament. Grand Finals bracket reset. They're actually taking quite a bit of time here. Don't know what they might be discussing, because I feel like this is a pretty obvious selection between one of 2 maps if you're Together We Are Terrific. This is pretty obviously, to me at least, a Nomad 5 or a DT1. They do have the DT3 if they want it, but maybe aren't as certain. I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what they're waiting on with this decision, but I'm sure they'll come up with it eventually. As we head into this bracket reset, it is, wait, is it actually? Did chat freeze on my stream here? Okay, DT3. I was reading the ref sheet and it did not say DT3. Now it says DT3. So, Untan Goose will be first pick for Together We Are Terrific in the bracket reset. This was the first ban for APAC Radiant in the first set. So Together We Are Terrific saying, you banned this before, you left it up this time, we're going to jump right on that and take full advantage. It is a wonky old map. This one, 300 BPM, minute-long, older-style Evil Elvis pick. And we'll see if we find out, maybe, why Together We Are Terrific wanted to pick this so badly and why APAC Radiant banned it in set number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think after that DT2 performance from the first set, you just kind of had to shift your ban on that, no matter how bad this map could be for you, because getting 1v4'd by 2 different players is not a good look in any sense of the case. But now, Unten Goose, I said it last set and I'll say it again. If I'm a team getting speed abused, I will always take my chances on a shorter map like this than a longer map, because this map, it's like, when it's just 1 minute, you can kind of rely on your stamina not giving out if you're trying to mash through it with a combo game. So maybe the less speed-oriented players on APAC Radiant should be able to mash their way through this one, more so than the flow aim kind of map that the DT2 was. But still, Together We Are Terrific played really well on this earlier against Bob, and they're probably going to do it again.
Yeah, this was the last map of that match against Bob, interestingly enough. 1.5 for Bob, 2.1 million for Together We Are Terrific. And hopefully we get into this. We got to get some players switched up. We've got Rectagon, Taquito, Freddy. It was Window Life as the 4th. It's going to be Window Life as the 4th again. Henry Box, Restia, and Tuna for APAC Radiant. We'll see what APAC Radiant can do here in the second set. It was very, very close. That first set was hard fought all the way through. And the longer APAC Radiant can make the second set take, I think the better for them in a sense. But considering the potential illnesses and injuries on their side, it's going to be a bit of a question mark how long they can last. So we're going to get in here. Map number 1, it's going to be the shortest map in the pool. And it is a map that Together We Are Terrific really wanted to go into.
Yeah, it's going to be a good first pick for them. They won speed entirely in the last match, so it's going to look good for them already going into this one. But through the beginning, you can see this map, it's only 1 minute, but this map will throw everything at you in that 1 minute, as we can already see a lot of players struggling. Restia at 69%, and it's going to be an instant lead for Together We Are Terrific because of it.
Yeah, this is already, well, not already, but it is a 100K lead. Not a huge one. There goes Freddy. Benson is trading with Secret Box. You've got Henry and Tuna, and they both go. All right, well, that's going to do it. Even with Taquito and Window Life and Freddy all breaking, the lead is in favor of Together We're Terrific. Rectagon's on a near 400 combo, and you're coming into the last quarter of a very, very short map with no combo on the other side. Rectagon's just going to do it to him again. He is a man on a mission today. The skill cap coming through in the clutch. Going to put up another really good score on this map, much like he did in their first match of the weekend in that loser's bracket final. Finally does break near the end, but it's going to be a 635k score for Rectagon. It is a 1.6 mil. They dropped off by 500k miles, and they still won it by 625,000 points.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the super late night effect. But now let's do the ceremony of looking at the DT leaderboard for this map. There are FCs from Riot, Arison, and Malteser. And Rectagon's 547 combo would put him at about the 7 spot on the DT leaderboard. But interestingly enough, Kamenchik has a 578 combo on that leaderboard, so probably missing him right now is APAC Radiant.
Yeah, absolutely missing him a lot. One of their best consistency tapping and speed players. Not having him here for some of these picks makes them a lot more one-sided than they might have been otherwise, as we've seen in the first set and now on the first map of the second set, as well as the way they've had to choose their bans. So if he does, I don't know. I mean, if he does show up, then that's obviously a big help to APAC Radiant, but it might be to the point where it doesn't really matter because his maps are going to be gone by then anyway. APAC Radiant first pick here. I suspect you maybe go... So it's one of like 3 or 4 maps, right, based on the way the first set went. You can go Nomad 3, Nomad 4. You can go Hidden 3. You've got some choice. You go Fremont 3. They look pretty good on that in the first set as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of their most convincing victories. Fremont 3, they could pick that a little earlier this time. And they are going to go for it first. So the Rhythm Flow map going to be picked first. But one thing I think for sure after the last set is they aren't going to be so eager to pick that Nomad 6. That was the one break point that prevented them from forcing Tiebreaker in the last match. And they're going to be really wary of that map going forward. I think they still probably need to pick it into Together We Are Terrific at some point in this match and try and win it. But now is not the time. You can't really afford to take another early break point if you're APAC Radiant here, because Together We Are Terrific, they are fighting against the clock. They want to finish this match as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Together We Are Terrific, you just want to get out of this in a big, big hurry, if at all possible. APAC Radiant, I think your pick order is probably something on the order of Fremod 3, Nomad 3, Nomad 4, Hidden 3 in some capacity. They might opt into the Hidden 3 in this first set before the bans, because Together We Are Terrific did ban it out in their first match and banned it out in the first set here. So Hidden 3 is looking like a pick that they definitely don't want anything to do with. APAC Radiant could opt into that as their second pick, since they aren't probably going to pick the Nomad 6 in the first portion of this match. Obviously going to be a couple maps away from now, but just thinking ahead, considering this map, the Fremod 3, they won this by 600k plus, so you just kind of almost think of this one as a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, Together We Are Terrific need a different look on this one if they want to have any chance. They did go for the Overmod last time, Rectagon and Decaton taking the Hard Rock. I'm not sure if they'll question that decision. I think you might want to put Rectagon on the Nomad if Decaton is going to take the Hard Rock again, but they're both exceptionally good Hard Rock aim control players and finger control players, so won't question that decision too much but for APAC Radiant here, gonna be looking for another very definitive victory to not hopefully lose an early break point.
Well, and we're gonna go. It's gonna be Taquito, Window Life, Rectagon, Decaton, and it's gonna be one Hidden, one Hard Rock this time for Together We Are Terrific. Taquito and Rectagon respectively. One Hidden, one Hard Rock for APAC Radiant as well on Flying Tuna and on Allegrissimo. We'll see if Together We Are Terrific can improve things on this map this time, but they've got a lot of ground to make up based on how this map went in the first set. It's early breaks from Window Life, Henry, Allegrissimo, the entire top row falling in the first 200 combo. Rectagon, Decaton holding on to the 2v2 with the FCs against Tuna and Forum.
Still very close, just 7k of lead for APAC Radiant out of the start. And a lot of that is going to be due to the accuracy, as Together We Are Terrific didn't opt into the Overmod this time, and I'm really starting to question that overmod even more because Decaton is looking very comfortable so far in the first quarter. Still up around 99% holding on to that FC. And Rectigon, difference between Rectigon and Allegrissimo could be contentious in this map. The two Hard Rock players duking it out there. But there goes Rectigon, the FC down, and now Allegrissimo there with the combo. And it's actually a full combo reset for Together We Are Terrific. Taquito, Window Life, and Decaton all going down right after Rectigon. And it's going to look like another dominating performance from APAC Radiant on this map.
It was looking okay there for Together We Are Terrific through the first half of this map, and then it just evaporated. Notably, though, APAC Radiant full resetting on 3. Tuna the only one to hold, but no combo to combat it, even if he does break on the side of Together We Are Terrific, as they just continue to miss and miss some more. It is Flying Tuna to make this lead possible. Does eventually break, but the lead nearly 300k. Some backing combo on Henry and on Forum. And this is just not Together We Are Terrific's map. This is a very good adaptation here in this second set for APAC Radiant. Opting into this as their first pick, looking like a very, very good decision.
Yeah, definitely. And Flying Tuna, again, putting up a massive score on this. I don't think it's as high as his score was last time, but still 434k going into the final quarter. Should reach 500k by the end of this map. Very good stuff from the veteran, and he is going to continue to hold on through another difficult section. This stuff on Hidden is not anything to scoff at. This is insane performance from Tuna, and it's going to be a very easy win for APAC Radiant on this, as Forum backing up with the massive combo. Gonna steal that top score going into the ending from Tuna as he continues to go crazy on some of these final flow patterns.
Forum showing up in the second set would be really valuable. Do not look at APAC Radiant's score, thank you. Because he was good, but not amazing in the first set. So if he can pull up with some huge scores in the second set, who knows? It still feels like the Together We're Terrific picks mostly will not see Forum in for APAC Radiant side, but always good for the team morale. Also, Henry's score and their team score. I hate it here. Always good for the team morale if Forum is putting on those super crazy carry performances, but it all is 1-1, though crucially, it was the first pick from APAC Radiant last set that was the difference maker. And so they avoided that pitfall this time. Together We're Terrific, second pick. Unsurprisingly, going to go Nomad 5, which means that DT1 will be almost guaranteed to be the second ban for APAC Radiant in the second ban phase. But we get to see Nomad 5 once more, which has been the Together We Are Terrific pick now in all 3 sets they'll play this weekend. Won it by nearly 500k in the first set of this match. Won it by 500k in their match against Bob. Nothing to say that that won't happen again.
Yeah, I see in chat, Deske trying to desperately get Kamenchik to wake up, contacting members of the Kazakh community, but at this point, if you're still asleep as Megalomania gets picked, it might be a little bit too late for you, because Together We Are Terrific, gonna have that very strong roster on this one once again. Rectigon, Window Life, gonna go crazy on this one. And APAC Radiant, we're gonna see if some of their tapping players can look a little more comfortable. Secret Box, I know, probably has some high potential on this Henry as well, but Restia and their fourth both really struggled on the side of APAC Radiant on this one. It just looked like one of those picks, similarly to the previous pick from APAC Radiant, where Together We Are Terrific just looked to be on a different stratosphere on this one.
Wait, oh my god, is here? Okay, but the thing is, he's not going to be warmed up. He's not going to be, even if he is here, he's not going to be warmed up. Also, he's not online, so I'm not sure what logged on means. Okay, logged on to Discord. Well, I don't know. That's going to go to somebody more important than me as to whether that'll be allowed. But talking about this map earlier, yeah, Hyok 212k, Box 209k, Rustia 118k. I don't know that Kamenchik makes a difference, unfortunately. He would need to put up about a 600-700k in order to combat the team score for Together We Are Terrific. And that would probably require him to be much more warmed up than you would expect him to be coming straight into the map 0 warm-up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just a shot in the dark for APAC Radiant. This map, it's one of those where we're 90% sure that it's already going to be a Together We Are Terrific pick. At the end of it, it's probably going to be their win, and APAC Radiant, we're getting severely third and fourth playered on this one, so even if Kamenchik doesn't have warm-up, if he can come on and speed player his way through this without any warm-up, it'd still probably be worth it for APAC Radiant, but not enough time for them, unfortunately. Going to be getting into the Nomad 5. We've got Rectigon, Window Life, Freddy Benson, and Taquito once again to go up against Enri, Secret Box, Restia, and Flying Tuna.
Let's see. We continue to play tapping. We continue to play these really stamina-draining picks later and later into the night. 2 a.m. now for Rectigon, 2 a.m. now for Taquito also. So we'll see if their hands are still alive. Early breaks come out for multiple players. It is Window Life and Restia, as well as Enri at the very beginning, and Freddy Benson too. Rectigon, Taquito, though, the ones for whom it is latest at night, the most ill-advised time to be playing this type of thing after a long day of tournaments, and they're just grinding out the speed picks, shredding away like it was the first map they played all day.
Yep, and Freddy Benson as well, New York resident, also going to be doing the morning for him. 98.9% out of those first streams. This guy, really good at this map, but I think that's just going to be the case for Together We Are Terrific. Their accuracies out of the beginning, once again, just looking a lot better than APAC Radiant. Although APAC Radiant looks a little bit better than last time, with only Restia really suffering on the accuracy. They've got 98 on Tuna, 97.5 on both Box and Enri, and the breaks are going to come in. That's a full team reset for Together We Are Terrific. Now, Tuna and Secret Box going to be able to go to work here on the combos.
Those are some big, big combos. It's 1K on both Box and Tuna. And Enri at 500 does break, but two 1,000 combos for APAC Radiant are gonna pull this their way eventually. Again, they're kind of having trouble with those lower players. Restia at 91 AC, sub 70,000 points thus far into the map. But it's another break from Freddy and Window Life. Flying Tuna trades one of them out. There goes Restia again, dropping a ton of accuracy and some misses, but Secret Box, 1,500 combo. Unfortunately, the team is not helping him out nearly as much as they need to. The lead is 11,000 points for APAC Radiant, but it feels tenuous at best.
Rectigon breaks. Okay, a Secret Box finally goes down, but there's no combo on Together We Are Terrific to really take this one back, but APAC Radiant playing with a bit of a handicap here. Restia really not having a good time. Lowest score in the lobby by far. But that high combo from Box and Tuna put in enough work to give APAC Radiant a 40k lead into Megalomania. Could they possibly do the unthinkable on this pick?
This would be a brutal break point for Together We Are Terrific to give up as Rectigon and Window Life break again. Enri continuing to hold on a 950 combo here. The awkward aim section is going to hit. We saw APAC Radiant have a lot of trouble with this last time, but Enri holds through on the 1,000 combo. Restia holds through on the 650 combo, so finally starting to recover at least a little bit. And the lead 70,000 points for APAC Radiant. Not a whole lot of combo on Together We Are Terrific here. And maybe it's APAC Radiant waking up at the best possible time for themselves. A third of the map still to go, but the lead 80,000 points. Bigger than any lead they had on any tapping map in the entire first set.
I mean, it feels like they never had a lead at all on tapping in the first set at all. But now Enri taking it upon himself to bring in that lead along with Restia back at 90%, but with the 1k combo. There goes Restia, though. So now it's all on the backs of Enri. The combos are back for Together We Are Terrific. Window Life, Rectigon, and Freddy Benson all back up with combos. So Enri really needs to hold as we get back into another chorus section. Combo now ascending to 1,600 combo for Enri. Flying Tuna and Secret Box. It's a three-way reset for APAC Radiant. It is literally just Enri, but the combos from Together We Are Terrific are doing the work to take the lead back right now into the ending. The three of them, Freddy Benson, Rectigon, Window Life, can they do it? Can they steal it right back? Enri is trying to steal this Nomad 5 away from them, but it's gonna go back. Wait a minute, Rectigon breaks. Combo is still there on Enri. Lead is shifting back in favor of APAC Radiant. It is literally a 1k lead. Chaos! Chaos!
Absolute chaos here at the end of this map. It is Window Life and Freddy Benson still on a lot of combo, though, and that's going to hold on, it looks like, for Together We Are Terrific. And into the ending, it is 20,000 points into the very last moments of the map. It is a break from Taquito, but that lead's still holding on despite Enri's best efforts at 2,400 combo. Window Life and Freddy Benson are combined to match, and break from Taquito, break from Restia, Flying Tuna at the very end. It's 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. And by a final margin of 14k, Together We Are Terrific escape with their pick here. Enri put in a score and a half, 516K, best in the lobby by 100,000 points. But again, the team score added up for Together We Are Terrific, and they just barely escape. And you wonder, the question has to be asked, Miles, if Kamenchik had been here. If Kamenchik had been here, you got to figure all he needed to do was put up 220K. All he needed to do was put up 220K.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. After how dominating Together We Are Terrific were on this in the first set, this is just the time zone diff, honestly, for Together We Are Terrific. 2:09 in the morning, your fingers start to get a little bit slower. I don't care how much of a degen you are, your fingers do get slower if you have to wake up for school or work or anything during the week. Even on the weekend, that 2 a.m., you can't keep yourself at peak form. And Together We Are Terrific escaping a little bit. Secret Box said it right at the end, Kamen diffed, because if Kamenchik were there with some warm-up, that pick would have most certainly gone to APAC Radiant with that insane score from Henry.
You gotta feel for Henry a little bit on that one, man. But you do what you can, and sometimes it's enough, and sometimes it's not. And you just gotta put one foot in front of the other, and it's gonna be Nomad 3 is that next foot placed down by APAC Radiant on a path that does not feel the most stable. But Nomad 3 was a pick for them last set that they won, that they looked pretty good on. This was a relatively early, I believe, their second pick then. 320K in APAC Radiant's favor, looking to reprise that performance. Forum near 500K, Tuna 400K, a couple of very good scores to try to live up to once more.
Yeah, and I think this is a pretty good pick for them still. I mean, said it earlier, any pick where you can bring in Forum to be comfortable on, it's going to be really good for you. And joining Tuna, Henry, and Hyak, that is that power roster for APAC Radiant. And Together We Are Terrific. I think at this point in the matchup, it would be almost unthinkable for them to take a break point on a map like this. But still, I think in their repertoire, very strong tech players on this team, looking at Rectigon, Taquito, and Decaton.
Yeah, there's players for Together We Are Terrific who are capable of doing very solid things on this map. And notably, yes, they lost it by 320K, but one thing you have to take into account that's kind of interesting about this pick, in their first match, Taquito was their best scorer. In the first set of this grand final, Taquito was their bottom score. So he can make up a fair amount of that difference just by getting up somewhat close to where he did in their first match against Bob. That being said, this still feels APAC Radiant favored, even if Taquito does put up a great score, because it requires everyone to do just as well and then some. So in we're gonna go. And man, we could just accelerate. We could just fast forward this entire match. It feels like nearly straight to tiebreaker if everything went according to how it should on paper. Fortunately, though, it's not played on paper. They're actually out there clicking the circles. It doesn't matter who's favored on a map. You still have to go out and prove it. And APAC Radiant looking to do that here and win Nomad 3 once more.
That aim control, we saw so many people get caught out on it last time. You see some of these streams that kind of go out into triangles. They're just so hard to be consistent on. Got the original track for the Perennial again, Metal Globe. And once again, going to be an early lead for APAC Radiant on this one. Forum, Tuna, Henry, and Hyak all holding on strong as the players on Together We Are Terrific are finding some drops. Window Life, Rectigon, and Decaton already finding the drop. It's just Taquito holding onto the FC up against a monstrous four-way through the first quarter of the map. And APAC Radiant, they have officially woken up.
I guess it's just deja vu, because this is exactly what happened the first time we saw this map. It was just the four-way through several hundred combo at the start of this for APAC Radiant, and it established them a lead that Together We Are Terrific could really never attack. This time, though, the resets do all come through. Flying Tuna, the only combo still alive. Meanwhile, you have Window Life on a decent combo. You have Rectigon backing him up. A break from Flying Tuna could open the door here for Together We Are Terrific, albeit a distant way from walking through that doorway with a near 200k lead in APAC Radiant's favor. The opportunity could present itself, but it is going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, but through this slider stream, Still no important combos go down. There goes Taquito and Decaton. There goes Forum, but still the big combos hold on for the side of Together We're Terrific. But there goes Window Life in the last quarter of the map now. Flying Tuna almost holding on to an FC through the first 3 quarters of the map, which is absolutely absurd. Finally finding the drop. 95% be damned. The veteran, once again, Flying Tuna, the player who just feels like he never ages on tech. He can be injured. He can not play the game too much in the last few years. He comes in on a late stage tech map. He is going to top score it.
Yeah, he put up a 400k in the first set. He's going to put up a better score in the second set, looking at 475, 490. Could even be a 500k here. No, he does find a break. So the 500k not going to quite happen, but 480k taking over the role of Forum from last set, who put up the 496k to top score this map. And this time it was a similar team score from both sides. 1.6 million for APAC Radiant in both the first set and again here. 1.3 million for Together We Are Terrific. But again, just the superior team performance from APAC Radiant. S rank on Forum, by the way, as you do, both times. S ranked back-to-back matches on that map.
Yeah, with 97.42% as well, which is absolutely absurd. And APAC Radiant gonna be striking down Yomi Yori, actually, so not gonna be seeing the 8-minute thriller of a map again after what Together We Are Terrific did to that map last set. But they're gonna be leaving open the DT1 because of that. So, map that we didn't get to see, now probably going to be picked next by Together We Are Terrific. But now, for Together We Are Terrific, I'm really curious to see if they decide to ban out Technical Master again.
I would expect it. They've banned it both previous sets they've played on this pool. You gotta figure they just really don't want anything to do with that. And indeed, there it is. Technical Master banned out, so it is the same. It is going to be the same bans from Together We Are Terrific in both sets here. They're going to go Hidden 2, then Hidden 3 both times. APAC Radiant with the adjustment. They go DT2, Nomad 2 after going DT3, DT1 in the first set. Now here, of course, DT3 was left open. Together We Are Terrific first picked it and won it. DT1 left open. They can pick that now, and if they win it, then it's basically just no matter. Nothing lost. Nothing ventured, nothing lost, I suppose, with the ban changes, because it's just going to be the same outcome of Together We Are Terrific winning the other two. But APAC Radiant showing that they're willing to do some adjusting here, and Together We Are Terrific, you gotta figure this is just the instant DT1 pick. It's the only tapping map here.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'm not sure if they're going to be so scared off of tapping just because of Megalomania, but the DT1 is much different from Megalomania. Lucky Star, a much different style of map. But if they are scared off the tapping, they could start to move into the Hard Rocks. But both of those last time did require some heroics from Rectigon on both Shaw and When My Devil Rises, so not too sure they go for that. But then there's also the DT4 that they won last set. It all just feels like a toss-up at this point.
Yeah, it really does. There were quite a few very close maps, and there were a few very not so close maps. And those close maps feel like if they get picked again here, it's just going to be a complete toss-up. And it does appear that Together We're Terrific taking a little time again with this pick, so maybe not wanting to rush into the DT1, maybe puzzling out whether there's a better option for them available here. But there are so many just terrifying maps once you get out of the tapping skill set, and even in the tapping skill set this time, there are just so many maps that feel very scary and very contested.
Oh, they're gonna pick into the Nomad 6. Okay. I guess this is one of those maps where you could expect a team gap. APAC Radiant having between 100 and 200k on their third and fourth players on this map. I get the vision on this, but they're gonna need another player to match Forum like they did last time.
I'm a little scared of this pick. I get where they're coming from. I agree. I get where they're coming from. They only won this by 90k, and it required, I mean, a couple of really big underperformances from APAC Radiant. You don't expect like every time to see multiple sub 170k scores. And like you said, Forum 947 KFC. Together We're Terrific winning in spite of that was a big pull for them. I don't know if they get that lucky again.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a tough look. You're picking a Nomad 6, you're picking an AR4 map into Forum. Like, whatever the optics are of the team performance, it's gonna be tough. And I mean, this is the type of map that you don't really get affected by in terms of tapping when it comes to exhaustion. It's 2 in the morning for Rectigon and 1Tabby in this lobby for Together We're Terrific, but I think the focus is going to be more of contention here because Rectigon, this AR4, it's not necessarily his main skill set. Just a little lapse in focus for a couple of seconds, and he could find a mistimed break on this one and just completely open the door for APAC Radiant to run away on this one. And Together We're Terrific probably want to see some players step up as well, because most of their scores were in the 400k range, which means they definitely put in the effort learning this map. They just need to do a little bit better, and I think 1Tabby, Caleb, and Boshyman all have the potential to do a little bit better than they did last time.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get, like, if you drop Boshyman's score slightly, but it means getting higher scores on the other 3, you're probably okay with that. That being said, I think 2 mil score is still kind of the target. And that was about where both teams were last time, of course. 2,019,000 for Together We're Terrific, 1.9 million for APAC Radiant. There's room for improvement on 1Tabby and Caleb. There's also a lot of room for improvement on Henry and Flying Tuna. I mean, did they have the time to go learn this to improve on a 166k and 126k? That's the big question, because those scores indicate that you are just not able to play the map at a fundamental level, and you are completely relying on your other players. And I don't know if that's going to have changed in the last 2 hours since we played this the first time. If it did, then APAC Radiant have an avenue into a break point here. If not, then Together We Are Terrific can probably just win this again if they get similar performances. But it's going to be a tough ask. This is one of those maps we were discussing where it was close the first time around. You expect it to be close the second time around as well.
Yeah, but those 3rd and 4th players on APAC Radiant, when you get between 100 and 200k on a map, that's not really the point where you're at any kind of tangible level of comfort on that. You're going in there and you are really struggling, and a lot of these players on APAC Radiant have been busy playing the match, not too much time to learn this one in between the sets. So it's going to be really tough for them, and they're probably going to be relying on those top 2 performers once again on this. But for Together We Are Terrific, already 2 early breaks for 1Tabby and Boshyman, going to be giving over the early lead to APAC Radiant as we see Boshy and Flying Tuna continue to trade it out along with Henry.
Yeah, this one, well, it's looking a little bit the same, but there is that break from Hyok, and that is large. Together We Are Terrific will be able to take the lead. It's still a double FC, and they have some backing combo building up on 1Tabby and Boshyman. Again, it's kind of that team difference. The backing players for Together We Are Terrific having a better time than the backing players of APAC Radiant. Form is doing what you expect of Form. Like, you don't even need to look at his screen. It's just irrelevant. But when you do see Henry starting to have a better time, but you've seen him and Flying Tuna having trouble with the first portions of this map. Still only about halfway through. There's the break from Caleb, so now it's a 1v1 on the FCs. You've got Rectigon and you've got Forum, but it's 150k lead for Together We Are Terrific. You had the break from Hyok. You have the not-so-great combo from Flying Tuna. Gotta say, Henry and Flying Tuna definitely stepping it up on this pick compared to the first time around. But Rectigon, 1Tabby, and Boshy all doing well for themselves for Together We Are Terrific, and that lead 150k. Only halfway through a very, very long map, but it's looking even a little better this time, perhaps, for Together We Are Terrific. The backing scorers seem to be maybe a bit more confident.
Yeah, but those scores from Together We Are Terrific. They absolutely need to continue to hold on to those combos, because we know what Forum is capable of doing on this map. He did it last match, getting the only FC on this map. And 182k with a third of the map left, there is easily enough time, especially with the backing combo from Henry, and that combo break from 1Tabby on the slow part is going to be a little bit of a disaster. Now APAC Radiant should start to swing the lead back in their favor. We're about to get back into another one of
Henry
these reading
breaks.
sections, and Henry going down. That's going to be really good for Together We Are Terrific now, and they're probably going to keep this lead consistent now.
And there goes Tuna as well, and now it is just Forum with the backing combo to be offered by Hyok at 300. Meanwhile, you've got Rectagon, you've got Bashi on a 670 combo, you've got Caleb on a 370 combo. And I was praising Henry for how much better his score is this time around than the first time, but that combo drops, and with that act down at 92, similar to Tuna, combo drops, accuracy down at 91, those scores become irrelevant quickly. And the lead, 300k, Together We Are Terrific. It is a late break from Rectagon. There is still a bit of score to come for the FC on Forum, but I just don't think that the backing score is there to bring this back for APAC Radiant, not from 300k down at least.
Yeah, I mean, the no-mod multiplier, not having multiple massive combos on the team, it is just going to be a pick for Together We Are Terrific. Not a pick that we expected, but a pick that we got, and a pick that ended up being somehow more successful for them than Megalomania. So, overall, a very successful gambit for Together We Are Terrific. Once again, getting the team gap over APAC Radiant, with the second highest score on Hyok being just about where the lowest score of Together We Are Terrific are. One Tabby and Hyok about even, and then all three of those players above them beating the second score on APAC Radiant. With Forum, once again, 880k, top score in the lobby, but not going to be enough.
Yeah, this is just a carbon copy of how this went the first time. You had 655k this time on Rectagon, compared to last time you had 645k on Bashi, 531k on Bashi, and 543k on Caleb, versus 535k on Rectagon, 430k on One Tabby. I mean, straight down the list, it's just like essentially different players, but achieving the exact same outcome. Henry and Tuna still distantly behind, 245k, 239k, and it went exactly the same as the first time, except with a bigger gap between the teams by a pretty decent margin, thanks to the improvement on the third and fourth player for Together We Are Terrific. So, a good adaptation from them. We saw the ban adaptations from APAC Radiant. We see the pick adaptation here from Together We Are Terrific. And this is what you love to see out of a bracket reset match, is the teams learning from the first set and making changes to their strategies, and sometimes having them work out as well. It is going to be the No-Mod 4 as the next pick here for APAC Radiant, opting back into this once more. And for good reason. This was a win for them in the first set. And it was close there. It was only 60,000 points. But they like it once more.
The tech, the aim control, everything that APAC Radiant likes is all bundled into this one hellish map. Fanzin, and we described it last time as a map that is a map of one-shot patterns, because there are just so many patterns in this map that can just absolutely catch you off guard. There's that one at around the 1/3 mark before the preview point that we saw an 8-way reset on last time, but APAC Radiant only winning this one by a small margin, I believe, somewhere between 50 and 100k, and they really won that a lot because of window life struggling on the beginning section, which is one of the parts that you're actually supposed to be able to combo. So, Together We Are Terrific in striking distance on this one. This is one of the maps that I saw as potentially a avenue for a break point for them.
Yeah, you know, the way the first set went, there were not a lot of one-sided picks in APAC Radiant's favor. Fremod 3, which we already saw. Fremod 2 was pretty close. What else was there? Hard Rock 3, very close. This map, very close. So their options for maps that really seem to be in their favor are actually not that extensive. Together We Are Terrific can relatively easily, it feels, turn about any of those around. And as we saw in the first set, it really only does take one break point when you're good at your own picks. So we'll see as we get into our second playing of No-Mod 4 if APAC Radiant can improve their scores, win this one again, and keep this one tied up, because this feels like an avenue for a possible break point if Together We Are Terrific can put together a score like they did in the first set.
But it just feels like something's a little bit different for APAC Radiant in this set. After Megalomania got so close, this is the type of pick where I don't see them getting any worse scores on this time around on this. It's just the time difference, man. 2:28 a.m. now on East Coast. Starting to get really close to some really degenerate sleep schedule stuff right here for some of these East Coast players. As we see the same roster come in as last time for Together We Are Terrific, and I believe the same roster as well for APAC Radiant. So it's all going to be about the slider streams here in the beginning. We saw Window Life really struggle on these last time, but it's going to be Rectigon, Decaton, and Enri to all find the breaks early on this time. We'll see how that continues. Hyuk going to find a break as well as Taquito and Window Life, so now only Decaton on their side. But he goes down as well, so now it's going to be Flying Tuna and Forum to take this one home for APAC Radiant in the first half. Here is the one-shot pattern, and Forum hits it. And Tuna hits it,
and
too.
Tuna, yeah. They had 2 FCs through that section. 2 players FC the entire first half of the map, and that's really just going to be it. They're going to build up such a... Tuna?
It's okay. Forum still has the FC.
Forum still has the FC. I was going to say they're going to build up just a ridiculous lead in this section, and they kind of are. It's still 400k. That was just bizarre to see that miss from Tuna where it happened, but Forum, if you FC this in match, I don't know what I'll say. The back half is quite difficult, so I don't expect it, but if he does, man.
I'm starting to believe, because the most difficult pattern has already gone by. These cut slider streams, Forum has hit most of them already, and we're just into the end of the map. And this is kind of ridiculous.
Oh my god, how did he hit that note?
Forum doing Forum things.
And this is what we were terrified of eventually happening in this match, were plays like that one from Forum. 886k, is that just low AC Nomad FC? We didn't miss like a slider break or anything, right? Yeah, okay.
Early.
That is what we were scared of. The thing is, I'm going to look at this in a holistic sense. First of all, that is absurd. Like, that is absolutely ridiculously absurd. I cannot believe that he just did that. Forum is not legal. Miles, I want to play devil's advocate here for just a second on this particular issue. Forum FCing that map on their own pick when they won it by 562k after they'd already won it in the first set kind of doesn't actually matter in the grand scheme of things as anything other than a point on the board. That's all it means. Together We Are Terrific is not going to be like swayed into anything by that happening because they expect, as the rest of us do, ridiculous things out of Forum. It's a crazy play, but what is it going to mean in context of the match in general? I don't actually know.
I mean, that's the first FC on that map. So I think that the context we have is, holy hell, our best player is starting to do things that we expect of him, because it's crazy. He's this type of player now who we expect to just do these inhuman feats. I mean, I'm not sure if this can really carry over into some other picks where it matters. Like, if he can do something like that on, like, Shaw, then it will really go on in the match. But I think you're right in that happening on their own pick that they won already, that's kind of just par for the course. But still, that has to be such a good morale boost to keep Forum at a score like that.
I can agree with that. It's gonna feel really good, and Forum with like momentum in a match is capable of doing really crazy things. The question is going to be where it's going to lead them. There's, like you said, there's Hard Rock 2, Free Mod 1, nothing else really similar. And Together We Are Terrific is still going to, as a team, stay away from picks that favor Forum. They're going to go into this DT1 as their next pick, which is just, hey guys, this is 262 BPM DNB burst tapping map at AR 10.5. We're just going to go to something completely different. Together We Are Terrific is not going to adjust anything based on what's happened. They're going to still try to pick away from Forum, maybe even more so than before, but they're still going to try to pick away from Forum. Notably, Kamenshik in the lobby for the first time.
The man has arrived. Kamenshik has awakened. The speed player for APAC Radiant is here. But yeah, Together We Are Terrific doing the #1 strategy. I think after your opponent puts up an unreal score like that, you have to completely shift it around. You cannot leave them in the lobby while they're hot like that. I mean, and the DT1, it's good for them because that aligns with their general strategy, going for the final speed map in the pool. We've got Lucky Star, not to be confused with the anime. We've got the DNB song. It's a custom by Kawari. I think I more know this song. There's a classic map of this song by Bearism that I initially thought was this one, but it's custom Kawari. Very noteworthy custom mapper, makes a lot of cool DT maps that are used in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, that Bearism map, man, I played that like 2015.
Yep.
That's a classic, dude. And this, I never knew that this song was this long, by the way. When I saw this map in this pool and it was 3.5 minutes after DT, I was like, wait a minute. there's a version of this song that's just 5 minutes long. I guess that's kind of how DNB goes. The songs just trend toward being relatively lengthy. But in we go, and interestingly, you see Decaden coming in for this one. It's going to be Taquito, Window Life, and Rectagon as the other three. Enry, Kamenchik, Tuna, and Secret Box for APAC Radiant. Decaden Speed on Air 10.5 DNB Burst map. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
I'm really curious to see how Kamenchik plays, as clearly not too warmed up, but has had about 20 minutes or so since Megalomania, since Deske, I think, got his brother to wake up Kamenchik, so... little bit of time to play Osu. He doesn't look too phased by these beginning bursts, so has probably been online playing. Let's see how consistent he is.
I mean, you say that he was at 90 act the first couple hundred combo, but he's gonna do all right. He'll be okay. Those early hundreds aren't going to be the end of the world. Rectagon, yep, it's going to be Kamenchik with the first full... okay, that was actually a full burst miss. Hopefully he's okay. There go Enry, Tuna, and Kamenchik again. So about that warm-up, we'll see how it goes for him, but not starting off amazingly. Again, like we talked about before, it may or may not actually matter if Kamenchik ends up being here on time for the speed picks, because whether he does well or not might not affect the outcome, but it is breaks all over the place. It is Box on the FC for APAC Radiant, is Window Life and Taquito on the FCs. Together we are terrific. Decaden, Rectagon finding some misses, Kamenchik having a lot of trouble. Enry and Tuna are recovering though.
The song is really calming for such a tense moment in the match right now. Secret Box really getting in the groove now. Tuna and Enry all on the big combos as well. It's just all on Taquito and Window Life here. Kamenchik continues to struggle. But the reestablished combos from APAC Radiant are there, and Window Life dropping the full combo. Now lead is gonna shift back over to APAC Radiant, and even quicker now because Taquito dropped as well. The full combo reset for the side of Together We Are Terrific. And the combos are just all there for APAC Radiant. Enry, Tuna, Secret Box going crazy on this one. It's just Kamenchik holding up the rear, and that's why the lead is still not on their side.
And there goes Box, though. The FC gone. Enry the only combo left on that side, but he is at 880. It's going to be 900 soon by himself, which is a big deal. Window Life, Rectagon, and Taquito all trying to recover. Taquito falls, but the breaks coming in now for the side of APAC Radiant as well. Kamenchik, man... not warmed up, I think safe to say. Unfortunately, Box and Tuna starting to find some more misses as well. Halfway through, this is going to start really draining on the stamina. You're very glad you have this break in the middle of the map. But Enry on a near 1000 combo, and that will drag this over to APAC Radiant. This is what one of the skill sets that he is best known for, among many, I suppose, but one of them certainly is the tapping. If he can make it through this pattern into the doubles, no, he falls on the triple-double pattern. And now it is Window Life, the biggest combo in the lobby, the only combo over 100. And the lead is going to grow in favor of Together We Are Terrific once more, thanks to that miss from Enry on the verge of taking it back to the side of APAC Radiant.
Yep, and now Window Life should safely secure this point for Together We Are Terrific right now. Not really enough time for these players on APAC Radiant to bring up a combo to be able to contest this, unless the breaks were to come in right now for Together We Are Terrific. But the stamina is really drained for these players. Tuna, Kamenchik, Enry all repeatedly dropping. And now into this ending section here, combos on Rectagon and Taquito to bolster the lead even further for Together We Are Terrific. And a lead that once seemed dubious for the side of Together We Are Terrific, gonna turn into a pretty solid win for them. 270k and growing for them. as the stamina really taking out the players on APAC Radiant, and that is just not to mention at all the 80k score from Kamenchik.
I can respect the grind, waking up, hopping straight on Osu, and getting into a Grand Finals match DT1 bracket reset 3-3 score. I can respect it, but man, are the optics of this not too great at the moment. He just is all kinds of out of sorts, dude. Obviously not ready to go at the level he needs to be here. And it's going to end up being a 435k win for Together We Are Terrific. Like you said, it looked a little sketchy for a third to half of that map. Henry was putting up a lot of combos. Secret Box was putting up a lot of combos, as well as Tuna. But things just fell apart for APAC Radiant on that one. Together We Are Terrific successful on their own pick once more. 7 straight picks without a breakpoint to open up this bracket reset. The plus side here is I don't think APAC Radiant has anybody on their side who is going to drop a 500k that they would have needed to win that point, so it's not like it's the end of the world that Kamenchik came in and just couldn't play the map. I don't think it made a difference, so they can take a little solace in that. Like, it's the same thing as the previous map, right? Yeah, Together We Are Terrific won the point. Yeah, it was pretty one-sided, but, like, they were expected to. So you're not going to be overly bothered by it if it's APAC Radiant. Yeah, if it was closer a break point, it would have been a huge bonus, but you're not expecting to win that map. So it's like, no big deal. We just go on into our own pick, and we go back into something that we can throw Forum at.
And there's still a lot of maps you can throw Forum at. You've got the Fremod 2 and the Fremod 1. I'm still waiting for them to maybe pick Honks, but, I mean, they didn't pick it last set, so maybe.
Yeah, but they have. Maybe. But Miles, I will say they're going to have an extra point. They're going to have an extra pick this set, assuming that they don't give up multiple breakpoints. They're going to have at least an additional pick because they didn't have the Nomad 6 pick this set. That went over Together We Are Terrific picked at this time. So APAC Radiant does have an extra slot to pick a map, which may end up being Fremod 1 this time that was left untouched last time.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But I'm going to stop looking at that map because the longer they go without picking it, the more crazy I'm going to go. So I think they'll probably go for Hard Rock 3, speed him again. I was about to say that. We've got the Flow alt map this time. Once again, this map, I believe, was decently close for most of it.
This was decently close for the entirety of it. This was a 53,000 point score difference. And it was close for, like, it was within that range for probably half of the map. So close doesn't even, I feel, begin to describe this pick.
Yeah, I mean, in a match full of close picks that seemingly go in the direction of the team who picked them, I just have to be confident in APAC Radiant here. They have been looking like a different team this second set so far, even though they are all tied up in terms of points and breakpoints. I just think APAC Radiant's looking a little better right now, and I trust them on this pick, but Rectigon, can't count that guy out on anything Hard Rock. We saw what he did on Shaw last set. We saw what he did on the Hard Rock 1 last set. If you give that guy a little bit of space, he can steal this one for Together We Are Terrific in the right circumstances.
Yeah, it was the smallest of differences on one or two players last go around. So if you can improve just the tiniest bit on any of those players who are so strong on the Hard Rock, so strong on the alt, this can flip, or it can turn into a bigger win for APAC Radiant. Who even knows at this point? Last time it was Rectigon, Decaden, Freddie Benson, and Taquito for Together We Are Terrific. It was Forum, Alagrisimo, Box, and Hyok for APAC Radiant. Does look like we're going to be seeing all the same players once more. And again, another one of these long picks in this pool. There are a ton of them. You got to be locked in the entire time. You got to have the mental and physical stamina. And as we get deeper and deeper into the match, that physical stamina we've been talking about repeatedly, not just the fact that it's nearly 3 in the morning on the East Coast, not just the fact that it's nearly midnight on the West Coast, but the fact that you played 12 maps in the first set and you're now on your 8th map in the second set, and every single map counts. If you're somebody like Rectigon, you are on map number 20. You have not been out of the lobby this entire time. And that starts to wear eventually, even for the most experienced tournament players in the world. Sooner or later, you might just make the tiniest little slip up, and that can be all that makes the difference in the entire match.
But this roster for APAC Radiant looks so good. Yak, Forum, Allegrisimo, and Secret Box. Secret Box is a player who has really stepped it up in the second set so far. Has looked really good on every map he's played so far. So probably looking at him to put up another great score on this one. Meanwhile, for Together We Are Terrific, Rectigon finding some struggles at the very beginning of this. I mean, I guess if you're struggling at all, now is the time. As the players start to adjust to the map, it's going to be an early 25k lead for APAC Radiant. This map doesn't really throw too many punches at you. There's only one real difficult spike in this map that's during the M&M section, but the rest of it is just very consistently difficult. You can find a break on a lot of these. You can treat all of these alternating patterns like follow point space streams. It is just that difficult.
And that difficulty is showing itself. We've seen early breaks from several players. Rectigon struggling a bit. Taquito with the early break. We saw Hyak break at the start. We saw Box break a couple times. There goes Decaton. And this is not looking great through the first quarter for Together We Are Terrific. The FC is still intact on Forum and Allegrisimo. The backing combo gone on Hyak, but as long as you have a double FC intact, wait a second, there goes Forum. Okay, it is all on the shoulders of Allegrisimo, who has not been a player that has been in for all that many maps. Whether good or bad, you be the judge of how that might affect a player in this scenario. But he is the FC, and he is holding on to the lead almost entirely by himself when you consider the overall combo of the teams.
Allegrisimo, if there's any player to come in for just his niche and perform so well, it might as well just be Allegrisimo on the Hard Rock. It feels like it's always specifically the Hard Rock for Allegrisimo. He comes in and performs so well on so consistently as Rectigon continues to struggle. That is not the player you want to see struggling for Together We Are Terrific, but it's going to be Freddie Benson to hold on to the big combo as Taquito finds another drop. But Allegrisimo still going. Decaton and Freddie Benson trying their best to take this. I think it's about exactly even when it comes to combo, but with the break from Hyak, it's going to be a combo lead for Together We Are Terrific, but Allegrisimo holding off Together We Are Terrific on his own as M&M wraps through this section. We are about to get to the diff spike.
The M&M hot fire section, it caused an 8-way reset in the first set of this match. Will we see the same fate befall the players once more? It's a break from Box. Decaton, Freddie Benson crucially holding on. Allegrisimo holding on, but look at that score. It's only 20,000 points. If any one player hits it, it's going to be huge. It's a break from Freddie Benson. It is a break from Taquito to follow, as well as Box once more. Rectigon building some combo back up finally. Decaton with the solid combo as well. You've got combo on Allegrisimo. He is still holding the FC. Where is the break going to come from is the question. Sooner or later, surely it's not a Hard Rock FC for Allegrisimo, but the longer he holds, the better. Oh, this is getting there. They all go. It's a 4-way reset for Together We Are Terrific. They all break. It's an 8-way reset in the lobby. Just as before, we are now 0 for 16 on that section of the map, ladies and gentlemen. Not a single player has hit it in the 2 sets of this grand final now. The lead 110,000 points to APAC Radiant, and this is feeling much like the first time around as the map is balanced on only 100k difference into the last third.
Yeah, that pattern is so brutal. I was just thinking of an analogy. It's like, you remember when rappers used to insult, or any mention of at all of Eminem's daughter, Haley? Everyone who ever mentioned Haley had to play that pattern and hit it. Like, it is such a brutal pattern. It actually, like, that pattern actually is more of a one-shot pattern than the Nomad 4 one, because at least someone hit it this time in Nomad 4. Nobody hits that section on Speed'em.
And now things getting interesting here, but it's still staying steady. 105k. Hyak, Forum, and Box all on some combo. Taquito and Decaton on some combo for Together We Are Terrific. We've got a little bit of time left going into the last section of the map, but it needs to be some breaks for APAC Radiant. If Together We Are Terrific want to be able to bring this in, it is just the last chorus. 111k should probably be enough. The difficult sections are gone. The combo on Taquito is gone. And this is going to be a little more in favor of APAC Radiant this time. They can breathe a little bit easier into the last section of the map. First time around, 53k. This time around, they're going to maybe triple their score lead on this pick. And we're going to see a 4-4 tie here out of this one, Miles. This is a scary match.
And it's all because of Allegrisimo. He may not step in for too many maps, but when the Hard Rock is picked, there are few players who can be as trustworthy as Allegrisimo. Almost 600k on that, and that score lead mostly resting on him.
That is a crazy Allegrissimo score, man. 592k. Decaden shoutouts 521k. So not a huge gap, only 70,000 points there, but that was a decent chunk of that 165k total score. And again, just a little bit together where terrific, not getting the team score they would have needed. Rectigon underperforming on the map compared to what we've come to anticipate out of him in this match. Taquito, not the greatest score on the map either. Bottom scored both times, unfortunately. And add it all up, you get a point for APAC Radiant. You get a tied match 4-4. We've got 2 picks left per team. And we have now gone 19 maps without a break point. 11 in the first set and 8 here.
One of these maps, these teams have to crack. It feels like with how many close points we've had, it's just a matter of time. But these teams just so solid at closing out on their own picks. But similarly to last set, the pool is dwindling down. Together We Are Terrific now out of speed maps. Gonna have to go somewhere else. At this point in the match last time, they picked either the DT4 or Sha. Those were the 2 non-mechanics maps that they looked at the most last time. I think at this point in the match, though, you don't really want to pick that DT4. Because APAC Radiant has just looked so good on the ult at this point in the match, the aim control. But Sha might be on the cards here, I think.
I could see them running back the Sha pick, but man, tell me that isn't absolutely terrifying when it took Rectigon putting up a 591k to win it. This late into the entire bracket, or the grand finals and bracket reset, I don't know how you feel about it. And they are, in fact, going to opt back into that DT4. It's going to be Kimi Kyoku again. And this was one of the closest picks from Together We Are Terrific in the entire first set. They only won it by 102k, and that required Decaden and Rectigon to both put up really incredible scores that clutched it out because, you know, their other 2 members were Windalife and Taquito didn't have a super great time. So this feels a little risky. As you said, APAC Radiant has been good at the ult. They've been good at the aim control. And so this is a scary skill set to opt into. But at this point in the match, what isn't?
Yeah, I mean, Together We Are Terrific. I mean, they need to pull out some heroics on outside of speed once again. And last time on this map, it was Decaden. Gonna probably want to see that from him again because APAC Radiant, this is a different team at this point in the match. They've looked a lot better in the second set. Have been winning points by higher margins, and they are probably going to be the most dangerous for a breakpoint on this pick, I think, than anywhere else we've seen in the first 2 sets.
The danger is at an all-time peak. Nothing feels safe. No lead feels safe. No pick feels safe. You just got to forge forward with what you think feels best. And perhaps here, the DT4, the alt pick. Allegrissimo, you mentioned on the last pick, a guy who comes in for his own picks and is one of those players who is in for niche maps and almost always performs at or above expectations on them, was not in for this, notably the first set. He is replacing Henry, who was their bottom score on it the first time around. The other 7 players are all going to be, I believe, the same. No, I tell a lie. It is going to be Freddie Benson in. It's going to be in place of Taquito. So we're going to see 1 player change per team, 6 players the same. We'll see how that affects the outcome. Together We're Terrific won this by 102k the first time around. They want to do at least that again. They would rather it be a one-sided victory, but you'll take any win you can get at this point in the match because there are no pictures on the real scorecard.
Yep, this map, very long, 4 minutes with DT applied. Lots of awkward aim, very fast. And that's the type of thing that it's kind of a lock-in map, I like to say, where you just have to be really focused the whole time because the fast jumps repeatedly really can wear you down. You see an early break from Flying Tuna and Freddie Benson. But yeah, this is the type of thing where there's not really one specific pattern where you expect to see too many breaks. It's just everyone is going to start breaking at some point because this is that type of map.
We'll go into the first Ki, and we'll see where those breaks may come. It's Freddie Benson, but it's the trade that for the worst from APAC Radiant, as it is Hyok to break their second FC gone. Forum and Allegrismo holding the FCs, but a three-way full combo for Together We Are Terrific still intact. There goes Forum as well. Decane and Rectagon, though, are going to both miss, and that trades out for the worst now for Together We Are Terrific, as you have the FC and Allegrismo to match Window Life, and the backing combo of Flying Tuna just broken the first 100 combo and has recovered since then. The lead will go to APAC Radiant. Only a third of the way through. This is a very lengthy pick. Flying Tuna falls. FC versus FC now. Window Life versus Allegrismo. Combo advantage to APAC Radiant, but Knife's Edge balance once more, as it seems like it has been so often in this match.
And who else could it be other than Allegrismo switching out for Enri's bottom score, and that is already paying dividends, holding on to an FC through the first third, and APAC Radiant now poised with a lead at that 1/3 mark. But we're in another one of these bridge sections. It's deceptively difficult, AR 10.5, even though it is relatively easier compared to the choruses. It's still something you can find a break on, as we've seen many people do in these last two sets. And that's going to be really important now with the lead being as close as it is. Like, this is the freest combo you're going to get in the map, and there goes Decaton. 99.6% big combo down, and APAC Radiant is going to start to pull a pretty big lead here. And on the transition pattern, Freddie Benson going to drop as well. Allegrismo, though, finally dropping the FC, but Window Life is going to trade it.
And now this is disaster for Together We Are Terrific. It is Rectagon the only combo left. And now he goes as well. You have Tuna still on the big combo. You have Forum on the big combo. And look at what just happened to that lead. It is 100k and growing. Is this the crack in the armor of Together We Are Terrific? Will this be the first break point they will give up in this entire grand final? And at possibly the worst time imaginable, Forum does fall, but it is Tuna. He is the long-standing, steadfast presence for the South Korean rosters. A legendary veteran of the game, proving once more why he has established the position that he finds himself in, as he is on a 950 combo and leads the lobby and brings the lead in favor of APAC Radiant by 200k now into the last quarter of the map. This might be all that it takes for APAC Radiant to try and get a break point and to try to take this match in this bracket reset.
And you know, funny enough, we love making these OWC comparisons to this as Tuna goes down, but this lobby right now is all South Korea flags versus all USA flags, because Hyok flag changed to South Korea recently. So this could be just a little preview of what's to come in the big OWC coming up in a few months. But yeah, for this map in particular, it's going to be APAC Radiant finally, after what, like 19 maps you just said, taking the break point. And they're going to be able to pick to go up to match point this time in what's quite possibly the most important pick of the tournament so far.
Couple breaks laid in it from APAC Radiant. Rectagon would love to have some more time in this map. He'd love to have a chance to bring this back, but it's going to end altogether too soon. And after 21 now maps of this grand final, we played 12 maps in the first set. We have now played 9 in the second set. Together We Are Terrific has dropped their first breakpoint. Their first breakpoint going all the way back, in fact, to their first pick of the losers bracket final some 30 maps ago. That they had not dropped a breakpoint in all of their picks since then. And it happens now at the worst possible time. APAC Radiant, 5-4 into the lead. Their own pick to come. Options left on the table for them to try to push to a match point in this bracket reset. What's the option? What's the best pick?
Part of me still wants to say Honks, but at this point I'm gonna let go of Honks. I think at this point in the match, they probably want to pick Welcome Your New Overlord. They won that map last time. They picked it last time. It's something that I think is something that fits their strengths very, very well. But a lot of that is also because I think they don't really want to pick Shaw. I think the fact that Together We Are Terrific actually picked Shaw when they did is still, like, absolutely insane to me, because that just might be the most volatile map in the map pool. Like, bar none. Like, even more volatile than the Nomad 4. But the Free Mod 2, probably the most consistent thing left. APAC Radiant were willing to pick into it last time, and it's going to bring in a lot of players on Together We Are Terrific who haven't really played too many maps. And at this crucial point in the match, I think taking out some of the top players for Together We Are Terrific is a very valid strategy for APAC Radiant.
APAC Radiant taking their time. They're being thoughtful. Every second available to them here. Because they know, just as well as we do, just as well as the viewers do, how important this pick is. Whether it's Honks, whether it's Fremod 2, whether it's one of those ones, whether it's Nomad Hidden or Hard Rock 1, they want to ensure that this is the optimal selection in the situation. And think of what has led us here as the timer runs down. Together We're Terrific take one breakpoint in the first set and carry it all the way through to win it. Refuse the reschedule, do not delay, go into the bracket reset, go 8 maps with no breakpoints. Finally, map number 9, APAC Radiant, take the breakpoint, and it's going to be Hidden 1. It's going to be something new, Miles. We are going to go into a Ryusei Aika Yorushika Hidden 1. Awkward aim, 200 BPM. I don't know that this is something that we expected. We still thought that it might be Fremod 2. We still had in the back of our minds Fremod 1. But they're going to go Hidden 1 instead. They're going to switch it up. And that is going to be where they try to send this match to a match point.
I like this
tournament
pick.
Point.
I still like this for APAC Radiant. The awkward Hidden 1 kind of aim is something that Forum in particular is extremely good at, as well as just the whole APAC Radiant squad. And I think this type of aim, where Together We Are Terrific was able to clutch out on the more high spacing Hard Rock aim that you see in the Hard Rock 1, this is something that fits a little bit more to APAC Radiant's strengths, where we're comparing the style of aim. This is something that I think they're going to be a little more comfortable on, with a Forum, Tuna, Hyok roster in on that. And then for Together We Are Terrific, I think this takes out some of the players that would have liked to play this on the Hard Rock 1 roster, like Freddie Benson and Window Life. Not going to be the strongest on this one, but players like Taquito going to be activated on this one.
Yes, we felt, I think, with the Hard Rock 1 at the end of that first set, it was a little bit of a question mark because it was aim, but the Hard Rock aspect of it definitely felt favored toward Together We Are Terrific. But it was the Hard Rock specifically, as you said. That was what made that difference. And switching it over to Hidden, switching it over to awkward aim instead of just raw full screen jump aim is something completely different. This does still feel like there's a world where it's winnable for Together We Are Terrific. They do still have good aim players, even with Hidden instead of Hard Rock or Nomad. But this specific skill set is something that Forum is so good at. It's something that Hyok is so good at. I'm thinking you probably go Tuna as one of the others. Ooh, it's going to be Enri and Allegrissimo. This is kind of for all the marbles here, I feel. If you win this as APAC Radiant, you're on the other side where you now have 2 match points. This is just flipping the script on the first set.
Yeah, as I said, this is probably the most important pick of the tournament, because if Together We Are Terrific, if they can respond to that breakpoint instantly, then we're just right back at square one here, where Together We Are Terrific have the opportunity to pick themselves to match point on their own pick. But APAC Radiant here, this map was their selection. They chose it for a reason, and they themselves think they can get to match point on this one. We've got Allegrissimo, Flying Tuna, Forum, and Hyok up against Rectigon, Caleb, Taquito, and Decaton. Let's see how this one goes. It's a Ryusei Aika map, AR9, 200 BPM, very dense and awkward aim, much different from anything we've played so far in this match.
And that's kind of the same story as in the first set when we wound up with Hard Rock 1 as the last map. They hadn't played any aim the entire time, and it took a lot of players in the lobby. Really, almost no one had a good time in general, but nobody had a good time until later on in the map, especially with Rectigon building that big combo eventually. This one, though, it eases you into it a little more. You have a little more time to get comfortable, and it's not just raw full screen jumps. So perhaps a little bit more accessible in terms of aim maps 10 maps into the match. But in we go to the first Ki, no breaks as of yet. Where will they fall? It's going to be a triple reset for Together We Are Terrific, and that is disastrous early on. Rectigon, Caleb, and Taquito all falling. It's only Hyok to break for APAC Radiant. A triple FC on Allegrissimo, Tuna, and Forum against only Decaton holding for Together We Are Terrific.
And this is a status quo that APAC Radiant is very much fine with. Tuna does finally go down, but there goes Decaton. The final FC now drops for Together We Are Terrific. And who else other than Forum to pull it forward for APAC Radiant? 120k of lead and rising, and there is no combo on Together We Are Terrific to contest this.
No combo indeed. There is still a decent amount of maps, so they will have the opportunity to build that combo back up. But will they be close enough for it to matter? As we go into this finger control section, will anybody struggle on these triples? It's going to be Caleb to fall for Together We Are Terrific. Alagrisimo, Keok, Decaton, and Rectagon all follow it up. Meanwhile, Forum holding strong. Tuna backing him up. He's matching Taquito, which means Forum is just free to fly. Hits the awkward little burst, hits the awkward aim. Taquito falls, and this is disastrous for Together We Are Terrific. That lead 250k, and again, as you said, who else in these situations? You pick a Forum map, and this is what happens. Forum puts on a show for your team, for the commentators, for the audience, shaking like a leaf in the wind, but maintaining the combo and maintaining the 355k lead. And it's feeling a bit like a foregone conclusion now that APAC Radiant may be sending themselves to tournament point after this one.
The X factor of all X factors. We saw it last OWC on Burning Star. We saw it just a few minutes ago on the Nomad 4. And now we are seeing it again on the Hidden One. Just why Forum is probably the most feared tournament player in the world right now in these settings, because you put him on a map that he can play, a map that he likes like this, and he will just full combo it. It doesn't matter if he's shaking, it doesn't matter if he's nervous. Good day, off day, he will still mess you up on maps that he is good on, and he is just showing exactly why right now he's so deserving of that status.
He finally succumbs to a late break. It will not be the FC this time for Forum, but it will be the 884k, 885k, growing a slight amount into this ending. The notes just keep coming. Will it be 900? Not quite. And that is a massive win. That may be the biggest win of this entire set for APAC Radiant. 554k, the margin of victory. No, it falls just shy of Nomad 4, 562k. But that is the consolidated breakpoint of all consolidated breakpoints, because it gives them the 6-4 lead. They find themselves in the position of Together We Are Terrific in the first set. 2 match points, 1 on the opponent's pick, and then if necessary, 1 on their own pick as well. 2 opportunities to close out the match, to close out the tournament, to win the Perennial. Can Together We Are Terrific fight back? They have 1 pick remaining, and then a required breakpoint to try to force a tiebreaker. You see what's left to them. Do they drop back into Hard Rock 2? They won it the first set. Or do they go elsewhere? Do they go to Hard Rock 1, which they also won in that first set? Those 2 seem like maybe the most obvious options, but it remains to be seen what they will make as their final selection. Their last stand, backs against the wall for Together We Are Terrific.
3:06 a.m. now for the East Coasters. That is Taquito, Freddie Benson, Rectagon, and One Tabby, all now playing at just truly degenerate tournament hours. Definitely starting to get tired. But for them, I would be absolutely astounded if they put their tournament lives on Sha. I definitely do not think they're going to pick Sha. But also, with how When My Devil Rises went, I don't know if they feel very comfortable picking that either. They genuinely might go into the free mod 2 that they lost last set just by a small amount. Maybe put in someone else over One Tabby, who bottom scored for them and was probably the reason they lost that. But then also the Nomad 1, they looked good on it against Bob in the losers final. That's something they could consider as well if they want to just change up the scenery a little bit. And it's gonna be the free mod 2. Welcome your new Overlord map. They barely lost against APAC Radiant in the last set. Gonna be their last stand on their own pick. They had some really good scores on this one. Bashi Man putting up an astounding hidden FC that was matched by a Hard Rock FC on, I believe, Alagrisimo on the other side.
The cinema of this match, the script of this match, could hardly be any more perfect. Set number 1, Together We Are Terrific leading 6-4, APAC Radiant down to their last pick. Free mod 2 is the selection. APAC Radiant wins it. Bracket reset. 6-4. APAC Radiant in the lead. Together We Are Terrific down to their last pick. They last pick Free Mod 2. It all comes full circle. Because time is, I guess, just a flat circle at the end of the day. Can Together We Are Terrific win after losing this by 165k the first time around and force APAC Radiant into their own last pick? Or will they lose this map for a third straight time? Surely they cannot lose this map 3 times in a row and have it be the end of their tournament run right here. Surely they are victorious on this, and surely they force APAC Radiant into their own last pick.
They're going to be changing up the roster since last time. No one tabby easy this time. It was their lowest score last time. So it could be a better look from them here. It's probably going to be Bashiman hidden, Rectigon and Decayton taking the double Hard Rock again. You know, quite honestly, the mod combination for Together We Are Terrific here, you have 2 people who are very comfortable on the hidden and 2 people who are very comfortable on the Hard Rock, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to fall. But for APAC Radiant, I'm 100% sure it's going to be the Allegrissimo Hard Rock and the Forum hidden once again for them. And it's going to be another very scary one. As you mentioned, Together We Are Terrific have lost this map twice before, now needing a miracle from a map that has not treated them well. Let's see if their last stand can produce a result. It's going to be Bashiman taking the hidden once again. It's going to be Decayton and Rectigon running the double Hard Rock, Allegrissimo and Hyak double Hard Rock, with Forum on the hidden, leaving Taquito and Flying Tuna on the Nomad.
Bashiman buzzer beater versus worst HR player, late game heroics. Which script will reign supreme? It's only 2 minutes away from finding out. It's the early breaks traded Allegrissimo and Taquito, the first couple players to fall. Combos will start to build on everybody else. No easy this time, no math to be done. We don't have to think through a calculator scenario. But the nerves ever greater. It's Decayton to fall. Decayton and Hyak again. Advantage to APAC Radiant, lead to APAC Radiant, but it is early days.
It's just so close. You have to hold your breath. This is a 2-minute map. Every miss is going to matter a lot here. Taquito gonna find a drop again, but that doesn't matter. He's already dropped a few times on this map, but there goes Bashiman. The hidden FC from last time goes down. Forum is gonna trade it along with Hyak, but Allegrissimo and Flying Tuna with the combos back is more than the one big combo on Rectigon, and APAC Radiant into this lower section gonna take a massive lead, 150k and growing. I think this might be the end, Aaron.
This might just do it. This might be the blunder. They pick it twice, lose it both times, get it picked into them, they lose it that time as well. They rested their tournament lives on a map that they had already lost twice in one day. And that wager is going to bite them. It's going to come back. It's going to be APAC Radiant with Flying Tuna bringing the FC into the last section of the map with a 200k lead. It's going to be APAC Radiant, even with Flying Tuna breaking. The recovery combos are there. I don't think Rectigon can pull off the heroics. There is just not the time. He has the combo coming into the end, but it's 200k down. It is all too little. And it is going to be all too late here in all likelihood. But wait, the score goes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is happening here? Hang on just a second. Everybody falls. No, it is APAC Radiant by 2,100 points. What did we just witness? I was prepared for the match to be over, but I wasn't prepared for it to end that way. It's 2,100 points. APAC Radiant wins by 2,100. Rectigon with nearly the heroics of all time. And nearly the collapse of all time from APAC Radiant. But they managed to hold on in the last second by 2,000 points. And they win the match. And they win the tournament. It is APAC Radiant 7-4 in the bracket reset of the Grand Finals after 3 hours on what was almost the craziest comeback on the last pick. And what certainly is one of the closest last maps of any match I've ever seen. But it's APAC Radiant that will be your victors.
God, that was almost just unbelievable. It was like the buzzer just beeping 1 second too late for Rectigon to steal that one back. But APAC Radiant are gonna escape after all the questions after the first set, after everything we've went through, after a 3 hour, 13-minute stunner of a match since the starting time. We have our perennial champion, and it is APAC Radiant. Henry, Flying Tuna, Secret Box, Restia, Kamenchik, Hyok, Worst HR Player, and Allegrisimo defeating the All-American team in an absolute thriller of a grand final.
That will land in the annals of history of OSU tournaments. I have to say, one of the greatest grand finals that I have ever seen, ever been a part of. OWC bracket reset tiebreaker grand finals may stand alone, but this is going to be right up there with some of the greatest matches to close out a tournament that we've ever seen. And it does look as though we will be getting a tiebreaker showcase between these two teams. A custom track, custom map tiebreaker, an original for the Perennial, Echoes of Memoria, mapped by Handsome. I believe we will be getting this, at least from the looks of things. So we'll get to chat a little bit about the match we saw as we see what we were so close to getting in the match and just barely missed out on. This map is crazy, by the way.
I'm still shell-shocked from that final map. I've seen score leads change in an instant before, but like that was like in 5 seconds the lead just went from 200k to 2k, and when I saw it adjusting at the end, it was just so close to flipping back over to Together We Are Terrific. It was just an absolute, it was a finishing that I think was suiting to this match for how close it was, how many points we had that were under 50k difference, under 100k difference. Feels like over half the points just had such a tiny score difference, and APAC Radiant just that little, you could call it icing on the cake, you could call it a middle finger right at the end, taking that point by 2k. Just such a close affair between, hands down, two of the best teams in the tournament.
And you've got to give so much respect to Together We Are Terrific, man. Number 6 seed, granted, a lot of that probably due to the fact that they were missing players in qualifiers, did not have the greatest time there. But to get through everything that they had to go through to reach this grand final in the first place, and then to take the first set the way they did, really an incredible run. A team that was dedicated to late round scaling, right? You've got Rectagon, you've got Taquito, you've got Decaton, you've got Freddie Benson, etc. All these players with a lot of experience in these late stage situations to make it through everything that they had to make it through in this tournament to get to the grand final in the first place, to get to the bracket reset, is really, really remarkable. So a lot of credit to them. Commiserations, of course, for the way that it's going to end for their team, but I think expectations exceeded for Together We Are Terrific. Meanwhile, APAC Radiant, number 1 seed in qualifiers, hands down, I think, the tournament favorites, and they were pushed to their absolute limit in this grand final, and they emerged anyway, clutching out those couple of points in the end. It was a real team effort for everybody involved, but you got to look at Forum a little bit on the Nomad 4, Hidden 1, just doing remarkable things.
And then I think 2 standout MVPs. For the first set, it has to go to Rectagon, who just stole 2 points for Together We Are Terrific in absolutely heroic fashion on Shaw and the Hard Rock 1, and just overall being the rock of this Together We Are Terrific team. And then for APAC Radiant, I mean, no other man than Forum. Like, those 2 picks, Nomad 4, Hidden 1, just being also just a rock for APAC Radiant. And we also see a few storylines start to be put in motion during this match. See a lot of South Korean OWC players versus a lot of USA OWC players. A rivalry that has been fierce for the last few years. Gonna get another chapter to that book added right before the big tournament starts. We've got OWC coming up in a few months, and I believe if all things stand as they are right now, USA and SK, the favorites to get to grand finals once again.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that you will not be able to bet against in OWC. They have been by far the 2 best teams over the last couple of years. USA, of course, on the historic run that they've had, going on 10 years now. But South Korea has come the closest since their defeat in the Grand Finals in 2017. South Korea has come the closest to dethroning them over the past couple of years. And perhaps this year, with the ascension of worst HR player and the flag change from Hyok, could that be what it takes for South Korea to push through that barrier and to maybe, just maybe, knock USA down from their top spot on the podium that's been so warm and cozy for them every year since 2018? It's going to be another high drama OWC. I agree. The players, maybe the 10 or 12 likely options for both of these sides. So it remains to be seen, through the tryouts and team selection process, who ends up on those OWC rosters. But we're going to see a lot of the players we saw in this match tonight. I am absolutely sure of that. And if we get an OWC Grand Final, even 75% as good as 2023 was, it'll be another successful tournament just overall in terms of competitiveness and excitement.
And I mean, one thing, being a little bit of an insider on the USA scene, I know their team is going to get shaken up this year. No Vaxe, the potential return of Utami, the ascension of Pez, the ascension of Freddie Benson even. Got a lot of different players who can be on the team this year for USA. There's a lot of variance in how that roster can be constructed, and I know Taquito, the captain's got a lot on his plate to try and decide what's going to be the best for that squad. Also, even some players out of left field, I want to shout out Ethan Tricks, a player who's just continued to impress me on the USA. Could be a player to put on Team USA to try and contest some of South Korea's gimmick dominance. Go alongside Boshi Man, that could be a really scary roster, but I'm just really excited for that tournament to start.
Yeah, OWC is like the culmination of the OSU standard tournament scene every year. It comes late in the year. It comes after the biggest tournaments are over. It comes after the Perennial. It comes after Corsace Open. So everybody has a good feel for kind of the cream of the crop in international play. But much like going from the Champions League to the World Cup, it just has a whole different aura about it. And it's special every year, and it's going to be special, I think, again this year.
But yeah, here we are in the chorus of this very insane tiebreaker that was made for this very cool song. Very cool map by Handsome. We've got a lead for Together We Are Terrific. I know Forum isn't in the lobby, but has to sing a little bit. I mean, Rekigon is playing Hard Rock, and Enri just stopped playing. Why am I even looking at the store? This is just a showcase.
Yeah, the score doesn't matter. We're playing for fun. We're showing off a very cool song that was custom made for this tournament. We're showing off a very cool map that was custom made for this tournament. And that is what this is all about at the end of the day, a tiebreaker showcase like this. But it's a fun one. This would have been an amazing environment for a map with stakes. Unfortunately, we are deprived of that. But we got the next best thing, which was 7-5-7-4 Grand Finals with bracket reset, and that's about all we could have ever hoped for.
Yeah. At the wee hours of 3:30 in the morning almost for the East Coast. APAC Radiant now at the end of this map be running it into the end for their gold medal at the Perennial. Another thing we didn't mention at all during this, how Perennial had rules for... I definitely didn't imagine this rule about how international teams have to all be from the same continent, right?
It was effectively like regional-based teams, so yeah. That, I think, factored into why this was so competitive, though, if that's where you're probably going with this, yeah.
An astounding success for this method of team creation, because having teams with everyone from every continent makes scheduling hell. When you at least have people from the same continent, you have times that work. And that's why we're able to get this time. Even if it did go super late for the Americas, we had a solid 4 hours here almost of intense OSU action. And I hope to see more tournaments take this approach in the future.
Yeah, I think this is something that a lot of tournaments can learn from, and a way that we can really increase the competitiveness of some of these open rank international tournaments. And as we wind down to the end of Perennial, just a few final thoughts from me at least. An amazing tournament, incredible matches, a ridiculous grand final. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it alongside Miles here in the commentary booth. want to give a big shout out to APAC Radiant, of course, perennial champions. Together we are terrific. The second place finishers, Team Bob in third, rounding out the podium. You can see full standings probably on the challenge and on the main spreadsheet. Big shout outs to the staff of this tournament. Dio, unfortunately not able to be a part of this grand final, but I know all of the work and all the time and all the effort he put in, as well as Chili Repair, who helped host. The amount of effort that goes into these tournaments really cannot be understated. Shout outs to the hosts for everything that they put into this. Everybody on the staff list, you can see it's a long list. I'm not going to go through and read every name, but from graphics to technical to the pooling and QA and custom mappers, play testers, all the referees, streamers, and everybody else in the commentary booth. I think this has been just an amazing experience and an incredible success. And I, for one, appreciate everybody that's been a part of it, whether on staff, whether as a player, whether as a spectator. It has been a wonderful experience, and I can't wait for more Perennial in the future. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone involved and to everyone who's been here and everyone listening. It's been a pleasure being a part of Perennial 2024.
And can say the same thing. Absolutely. This tournament, I think in an era where a lot of people are unfortunately like starting to lose hype in some of these big tournaments, the way that this Perennial played out with all the storylines that were in play, with all the, I guess, not being able to form those like world-ending super teams because of the region lock, like this was a breath of fresh air in what top tournaments have been. And I hope to see more tournaments trying to shake up the meta, trying to make things more competitive, because what this Perennial was I think the first special like open rank 4v4, the first most memorable one since Course Ace a few years ago, back in like 2021. Like, a great tournament. Thank you to everyone for being here. And I think that's finally going to do it for this cast.
It is indeed. After 3.5 hours at 3:30 in the morning, we will be bidding farewell from the Perennial 2024. A final congratulations to APAC Radiant. A final thank you to everyone who has made this tournament possible. Please be sure to go over and support the tournament. Check out the original songs. Check out the original maps. Every bit counts. Everything means a lot. We thank you for being here. We thank you for spending your time with us tonight. We congratulate the winners, and we'll see you next time at the Perennial on the other side. Goodbye for now.